I'm Rich Thomason. The voters have spoken in the half-dozen states where the latest primaries have taken place. In California, they're still tallying the votes in the governor's race, a crowded field of 61 candidates. Trump-endorsed Republican Steve Hilton leading the pack in the early going.
We've had enough ideology in California, haven't we? It's time. It's time for positive, practical things. I'm fighting for working people in California so that you can keep more of what you want.
In the closely watched L.A. mayor's race, looks like incumbent Karen Bass will advance to the general election, possibly challenged by Spencer Pratt. Alabama can use a new Republican-friendly congressional map in this year's elections. That's a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court. Despite the ceasefire, U.S. and Iranian forces have exchanged fire again. 2 Iranian missiles missed their intended targets in Kuwait, according to the U.S., and several missiles fired at Bahrain were intercepted.
The U.S. military also said its forces carried out self-defense strikes against an Iranian military ground control station on Keshmer Island in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says the target was a communications tower south of the island and has cited that attack as the reason for its retaliation. Earlier, U.S. forces fired on an oil tanker attempting to sail towards Iran's oil terminal at Karg Island. The incidents highlight the fragile nature of the current ceasefire. The U.S. said its forces remained vigilant and prepared to respond to what it described as unwarranted Iranian aggression during the truce.
The BBC's Peter Bowes. Police in Bakersfield, California have been negotiating with a man holding hostages inside a building that houses a bank and school district office. That man claims to have a bomb. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 200 points. NASDAQ futures 37 points higher. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at 2 different options, debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement. And remember, Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
A fire in New Delhi, India has claimed more than 20 lives.
The blaze occurred Wednesday, affecting a building with a restaurant and hotel in New Delhi's Malviya Nagar neighborhood. Fire crews rescued at least 40 people, but the cause of the fire remains unclear. Images from the scene show firefighters trying to douse the blaze as thick smoke billowed from a building. Some people trapped inside were seen hanging from windows and shouting for help as flames and smoke swept through part of the building. Local residents joined rescue efforts, helping to evacuate people trapped inside. Some victims, foreign nationals in India, for medical treatment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed condolences and announced financial assistance for the victims' families. Fires are common in India due to often flouted building laws and safety norms. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
3 Australian appeals court judges have reserved their decision on whether an activist can privately prosecute King Charles for alleged genocide of Australia's Indigenous people. News and analysis, townhall.com. Israel's weapons exports hit a record high, more than $19 billion last year.
That marks a 30% increase from 2024, according to Israel's defense ministry. More than half of 2025 sales were mega deals valued at $100 million or more. Sales have more than doubled in the last 5 years, despite criticism of Israel's conduct in conflicts with Gaza, Hezbollah, and Iran. Experts say governments are drawn to Israel's battle-tested weapons. Defense Minister Israel Katz says the figures reinforce Israel's position as a leading defense technology power. Keith Peters, Washington.
The U.S. Trade Representative says the Trump administration is proposing tariffs of 10% or more for dozens of major trading partners following a probe into alleged forced labor. Canada, Mexico, Taiwan, and the U.K. would face 10% tariffs. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
The Trump administration has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system, but there's only so much the government can do. And if we really want to make America healthy again, that starts at home, and that's where the Wellness Company comes in. The Wellness Company allows you to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits, which contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. The Wellness Company also offers a variety of health products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more, helping you stay healthy and live a longer, better, healthier life. Make America healthy again. That starts at home. So do your part and protect the health of you and your family. All you have to do is go to twc.health/Godzilla today and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10%. That's twc.health/Godzilla.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
This meeting with China and President Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Listen, China's not our friend. They've been stealing our technology. They've been stealing the AI, responsible for the COVID. We have to be very, very careful about giving stuff to China.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
It's the top news of the day.
China wants the oil from Iran.
They want to make a deal that's good for them and not piss us off too much.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on 2 huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Happy Wednesday morning. Hump Day, everybody. This is the John Fredericks Media Network. I'm Dan Hobgood. Time for a look at weather and sports. We'll start, as we always do, with where I am in the capital of the South of Richmond, Virginia. Not bad for early June. High today of 84 degrees, a low of 54. I like that. Right now, the temperature is 49. Squirrels winner over Erie yesterday, 8-7. They'll play again starting at 7:05 tonight. Moving on to D.C., the Marlins top the Nats 7-3. Deja vu, exact same score as Monday. Those two teams will face off again at 1:05 this afternoon. High in D.C. of 86, a low of 58. Right now the temperature is also 58. In Atlanta, you'll see a high today of 79 with a low of 56. Right now, the temperature is 59. The Braves squeaked by the Blue Jays yesterday 4-3. They'll square off again tonight. First pitch, 7:15. Nashville, you're looking at a comfortable for June high of 83, a low of 59. Right now, the temperature in Middle Tennessee is 61 degrees. Philadelphia, well, the Phils outlasted the Padres last night, 3-2. They'll see each other again beginning at 6:40 tonight. In the meantime, in the city of brotherly love, a high of 86, a low of 59. Right now, the temperature is 63 degrees in eastern Pennsylvania. Morgantown, countdown to the Super Regional this weekend. In the meantime, high today of 81, a low of 56. Right now, the temperature is 51 degrees. And in the 412, Yinzers, you're going to see a high today of 84 degrees, a low of 55. Right now, the temperature is 50 degrees. And the Pirates won a game last night, 10-6. Gosh, I had it written down here somewhere whom they beat. Hold on, I can't. You know what? Let's ask John when he gets on. I can't find it. We'll have to ask him whom the Pirates beat. I don't know. And anyway, the Vegas Golden Knights stole Game 1 last night at Carolina on the road, 5-4 in the Stanley Cup Final. Aaron Donald teases coming out of retirement to play alongside Myles Garrett in L.A. And Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight at 8:30 p.m. in San Antonio. When reached for comment, John Fredericks unleashed his best Joy Behar impression. So what? Who cares? So what? Anyway, bringing you today's weather and sports update is the Godzilla Wins radio show. For the best insight, analysis, and picks, watch and listen to Godzilla Wins Saturday morning from 9 to 11 all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Plus, to get John's daily sports picks, you know where to go, GodzillaWins.com. Once again, that's GodzillaWins.com. This has been Dan Hopgood for the John Fredericks Media Network. Outside the Box with the Ox is next, followed by the one, the only, the John Fredericks Show. Stay tuned, everyone.
Ezekiel saw the wheel. Unidentified flying objects that people say they are seeing now. Are they proof that we are being visited by civilizations from other stars? Or just what are they?
Roman Catholic Archdiocese Chief Exorcist Monsignor Stephen Rossetti says they're demons, likely for the most part. The Christian Post reports that he said demons may be pretending to be aliens from another planet as a deception. Citing Ephesians, he reminds Christians to put on the armor of God as we're in spiritual warfare, whether we know it or not. The story tells how Rossetti's dealings with those suffering demonic affliction sometimes include spirits manifesting in the physical realm as orbs of light or even beast-like creatures. He admonishes us not to be distracted by all this and instead focus on Jesus. The Monsignor also says that regarding actual life from other planets, he sees that as theologically neutral. So for those determined to believe that maybe some of these instances are really extraterrestrial visitors challenging our institutions of faith, 10 will get you 20 that they would also have to revere an almighty creator of time, space, and dimension. God, obviously, because thinking outside the box, if they're so advanced to be here from light years away, they could never be ignorant enough to believe they and their world exist because of a chance asteroidal microbe crashing into their planet 1 trillion years ago, spawning a livable planet teeming with millions of life forms, and wow, the same thing happened to this planet.
Not hardly.
Well, here outside the box with the Ox in the Eastern Time Zone and now in West Virginia on the John Fredericks Media Network.
John Fredericks.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
they want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women.
John Fredericks.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start, John Fredericks.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
they want to have every single thing first, John.
Wake up with the John Fredericks Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the socials.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineer sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show.
grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
Oh, folks, great to be here tonight. Today, late night last night, following all of these primaries mainly in California. So we're going to be back about the bottom of the hour, but I just want to say we were fired up last night. There's no question about it. You look at two things. I think the first one that's incredible is in Los Angeles, where Spencer Pratt gets in the runoff. He raised $3.5 million online. Nobody heard of the guy a month ago. This is what can happen when you have a plan and you go to the people like I've done in Washington, D.C. You go right to the people and say, look, we can do this. We can fix things. We don't have to live in filth and squalor like we did in Washington, D.C. Look at President Trump. He's fixed it. We can actually do this, which is so exciting. And then you get to the gubernatorial primary, and actually the leading vote getter was Steve Hilton, the Republican. You combine him with the sheriff, they got over 40% of the vote. Tom Steyer spent $600 million. $600 million he spent. This is an incredible amount of money, and didn't even make the runoff. An absolute clown, left-wing jack-off. I mean, he didn't even make the runoff. Steve Hilton actually has a shot to be very competitive in this race for governor. So we're fired up about that. We got a lot going on. We got a lot of clips to play. We're going to go right to Spencer Pratt, and I'm going to be back here, Dan, at the bottom of the hour.
Do you see an uphill battle in the next 5 months? Absolutely not. I think the next 5 months is I'm going to have time to build out this team to show everybody the level of Democratic supporters that I have behind me, the heavy hitters that are in this room that are all behind me. And I think this idea that I don't represent Democrats and Republicans and independents, anyone that's just a Los Angeles citizen that wants basic quality of life, I'll be able to show that in 5 months. Right now, the media likes to say, oh, he's this. I'm not that. I'm the Angelino who said enough is enough, and I had to step up. I didn't know I'd be here tonight, but it's obviously God's plan, and I'm going to go all the way, and I'm going to show everybody that I'm their mayor. I'm not going to... Yes, sir. For Los Angeles.
And you mentioned you have widespread support. You've got, you believe, the Democratic machine, to quote you, already behind you.
Absolutely. I love you. Thank you so much. I have a great night. Thank you so much. The communists already lost. So...
Spencer, speak to those who maybe didn't vote for you tonight.
Your opponents keep pushing you as MAGA and ultra-right. Are you ready to take that on? And how do you respond to that?
My opponents, it's very clear, are all pathological liars. They lie on all their statistics. They lie on the reality of the city. I will be taking on my opponents with facts and the truth. And the voters are going to see the truth. I don't need to convince liars to stop lying.
Spencer, final words tonight for the people.
Because he's speaking out against communism and socialism, and it is a real big problem in our cities, especially in LA where it's turned to crap. It's not an accident. They're doing it by design. Karen Bass wants to destroy our city, and it's nice to see someone like Spencer Pratt.
I can simplify it because those buzzwords are like they melt the brains of like left, leaning people. So let's just say it this way: he doesn't want a human feces to be a part of your life. Yeah. He doesn't want homeless children outside.
Totally.
Homeless
Thank you.
Outside. Oh, you didn't like that.
She
ran away. He doesn't want homeless people outside of the elementary schools having sex with their own hands in front of the children.
We appreciate you. We've talked a lot about the homelessness. Thank you. All right.
Listen,
don't
Liz,
appreciate you, ma'am.
I got it. Thank you for navigating that so well.
He seems
I just want to shout out June Cutter, the chief of staff of Spencer. She's incredible.
Thank you. Okay, Hallie, all I will say is that clearly they're taking a few shots. They're feeling good out here.
The margaritas are flowing there at Don Antonio's. Perhaps, I don't know for sure. Really suspicion. Liz, thank you.
matchups are going to become the fall?
Well, look, I mean, in the state, you've got, both at the governor's level and at the mayor's level, you've got an establishment candidate, you've got somebody to the left, you've got somebody to the right. It's because there's just a lot of discontent in the state.
Yeah.
I think Karen Bass has gotten a bad rap because of the Palisades fire. That was a fire hurricane. For the first time, our fire season and our wind season kissed, and we had a fire hurricane. We could not fly our air tankers. And so if she had been in town or not in town, you'd have the same outcome. That said, there's a lot of problems that people are upset about. If a reality TV star winds up going head-to-head with Karen Bass, given how unpopular the reality TV star president is, Donald Trump, it just gives you a sense
Trump
of...
endorsed reality.
Yeah, exactly. It just gives you a sense of the level of discontent. I think Karen Bass ultimately survives, but it's a wake-up call for the Democratic Party establishment in the state of California that we've got two kind of wild personality types that are probably going to drag us into into a runoff.
You know, I just spent a week in California, and I interviewed.
And she beat him. Mm-hmm. I honestly do not have any faith in the California voting system. Everybody gets mailed out a ballot to send in. It's been going on for, 3 weeks now. Yeah. I see on TV thousands of these ballots that they're just filtering through, so open for fraud. I just don't feel like the Democrat machine here in Los Angeles can ever let Spencer Pratt become mayor. I mean, it would destroy them. So that, for me, is a big problem that we have here in California. And Spencer Pratt, I've known for 40 years. My son Brody was on the hills with him, many, many years ago. They keep calling him a reality TV star, but actually he went to USC as a political science major. Mm-hmm. And he's a very sharp guy. He's done a very unconventional campaign. I mean, he's used some of the best AI-generated ads that are online that have just been absolutely brilliant. He's very outspoken. He can make a difference in this city. And I'm a supporter of him, and I would love to see him get in there. But I just don't think it's going to be easy. I don't trust California. I just don't trust him. President Trump, please get the Save America Act, and let's do something right. One person, one vote. Go to the polling. I'm going to go to the voting center right after this and vote in person. I want to do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point about the machine in California. We see it in other states as well. And the way that the voting takes place. So if he can get, into this runoff in November today, or potentially, as some of the betting odds show, get over 50% in this vote, it would be extraordinary because of the things that are stacked against him, as you so well point out, Caitlin. Final thought on that?
Yeah. Let me tell you, I would love to see.
Hey, folks, this is Dan jumping on the mic here for the time being. Obviously, John getting some stuff together here. Let me try to find a photo of myself, at least to put up on the screen, my ugly mug. Let's see here. Where do we got some graphics? They got to be in here somewhere. I know where I can find one, actually. There I am. All right, so for the time being, you're stuck with me. But I thought I'd jump away from the clips just because we have a caller on line one, Steve in Virginia. Let me get him going here. Steve, how you doing, bud?
Doing great. Thank you for taking my call, Gorilla of the Truth.
Yeah, you want to know something? I told this to the stat man, Brendan Statler, and our team. Originally when I said that, I was really trying to be very self-deprecating. I actually said Glorilla of Truth. But John heard Gorilla and said, you know what, we'll just go with Gorilla. How about it? But, yeah.
Well, considering that John's Godzilla, I've thought of you at times as being the Gorillazilla.
Oh my goodness. Well, obviously Spencer Pratt lives to die another day. Steve Hilton with a very interesting finish yesterday in California. Maybe this all speaks to the fact that John's onto something about where things stand for the midterms. If this is how right-leaning candidates are faring in the most left-leaning state of all, good old California. Only Californians could make California an unlivable place, probably the most livable place geographically on the planet. And I mean, Oregon, California, who would have wanted to move to those places in the last, 20, 30 years based on what the people who inhabit those states have done to those spots? It's insane. But yeah, so what's on your mind this morning there, Steve?
Just to finish what you were saying, I did actually contemplate moving to Oregon about 25 years ago or so, and I did. But when it came to California, and I have a lot of family that lives out there in different parts of the state, and I would always say it's a nice place to visit, but I don't want to ever live here.
Yeah,
and that was way back. So it's nice on the surface, but when you get down to actually having to live there and to pay for everybody else's lifestyle,
right,
quote unquote, that's one of the reasons why I'm not really happy with Virginia. And
well, maybe this is a sign that California is waking up. I've long had the view, basically, that all of these folks who want to unleash totalitarianism on this country, that they need to experience for themselves firsthand what horribly big government is like, so as to learn the lesson that history has to teach us about what happens when we go the route of collectivism and statism. And maybe California is ahead of the curve in the sense that, okay, we know here now, we don't need to go any further along the path than we already have. We get the message. We want to revert back to what we were. George H.W. Bush in 1992, when he lost the election to Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush won California. Is that ridiculous to think about?
there were a lot of Reagan Democrats that thought, he was the vice president under Reagan for 2 terms, so maybe they would go with him too. But sometimes you have to. We always forget. Well, who was the choice? There were a lot of Californians that didn't think that much of Bill Clinton, I guess. So, hey, what are you going to do? When it comes to California, I don't remember which of the founding fathers said this, but there's always a quote that runs through my head, which is, "The government that governs least governs
That
best."
was Jefferson. That was Thomas Jefferson. Yep, who grew up not too far from here in the western portion of Richmond, Goochland County, Tuckahoe. Yeah, so not from here, but I think he was born where he ended up in Albemarle County, outside of Charlottesville. But yeah, he grew up, spent his formative years outside of the Richmond area. So yeah. It's funny, all these quotes. I keep on finding quotes. It seems to me that Ben Franklin must be the beneficiary of the most misattributed quotes of all time. Have you ever noticed that? All these quotes. Who said that? Oh, it was Ben Franklin. It's like, no, I don't think Ben Franklin really did say that. It's just, Ben, who said this? Yeah, Ben Franklin. George Washington. It's like the beginning of Talladega Nights when, America's all about speed. Hot, nasty, badass speed. Eleanor Roosevelt. It's like...
Before the internet, we could always get away with being close to somebody, because anybody who didn't know what the quote was would certainly not know that we had misattributed it.
Yeah, Steve, I was just talking about this the other day with some friends of mine. I said, it used to be there was that sweet spot when the internet first got going that where you could pretty much rely on the information that you got. Like, okay, this is accurate. And now everything is it's so proliferated that. The internet would be the last place you'd want to look to find out, okay, who said this? What really happened? I'm getting 15 different stories. At least when the internet first started, it felt like it was a more reliable source of information.
Dan, you bring up a really good point in that, the scariest thing to me about AI is that the internet is the training ground for all of these large language models that are going out and it's, Wikipedia is one of the training grounds for AI also. And the thing is, we all know Wikipedia is full of inaccuracies.
Not great at all. Not great at all. And the story about what happened to Wikipedia, founded by, I think, Jimmy Wales, right? A pretty upstanding guy from what I can gather. Basically, it was just taken away from him in terms of control of the whole thing. And it's become just a leftist site, basically, at this point, where the control orchestrated over it is from...
Well, the old saying back in the early days of the internet, when the early days of Wikipedia was, Wikipedia may be a good place to start your research, but never stop there.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. I think that's true. Hey, Steve, we are coming up here on a commercial break shortly, so I at least will maybe need to get you on hold. We can, if John's not back, if you don't have anything else going on, we'll continue the conversation. I can ask you some more about what you think about what's going on this week in the news and get your thoughts. Always good to do that in the 6:30 half hour when supposedly the president himself chimes in or tunes in from time to time just to see what everybody's thinking. I gotta find out what all my people are saying right now. But yeah, it's so that's good. But well, Steve, if you can hold on for a minute, I'll close out the show for the half hour here, and we'll be back after a few words from our sponsors. If you're just joining us, basically everybody, John, I think, is having a little bit of technical difficulties. So I'm filling in for the moment until we get him back on the air. We're headed to a commercial break as usual at the 32 mark of the 6 o'clock hour. Thanks for tuning in this Wednesday morning, June 3rd, 2026. Can you believe that we're almost halfway through this year? Gosh, the days are long, but the years fly by. And the older one gets, the more I think that's the case. But happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Dan filling in, at least for the time being, for John Fredericks. I'm hoping that he'll be around any moment now. If you also didn't hear the news overnight, Spencer Pratt lives to die another day in the LA mayor's race, and Steve Hilton had a great finish in the primary out in California. So we'll have to see where things go from there. All right, folks, this is the John Fredericks Show. Stay tuned.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-Cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
That's how I feel. Damn sick and tired of getting out rebounded. 25 offensive rebounds. First time we block out, we get called for a damn block out. We're pushing people. Meanwhile, they're on the other court grabbing rebounds, going over the top and grabbing them. We get one offensive rebound, the other we get called for over the back. We don't block out very damn well, and we're not getting called, one or the other. That's where I'm frustrated. That's where my whole frustration comes in, offensive rebounds. The entire thing came down to offensive rebound. They got every stinking offensive rebound, we didn't get one of them. What else do you want to know?
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, what a week it's been. What a night last night. Up following these returns. I couldn't really keep my eyes off it. And listen, all of the naysayers, all of the people saying we're going to get killed in the midterms, all of the people saying Trump voters aren't going to show up. Trump's approval rating is lower than Carter's. It's the worst in the world. It's a disaster. We're all going to die, right? What happened last night? In California, MAGA showed up in massive numbers. And they came out in Los Angeles. This has been the first time in, 30 years that the mayoral candidate, technically it's a nonpartisan race, didn't get over 50% and just didn't have any opposition. I mean, she now, Karen Bass, has got to face the music for the next June, July, August, September, October, and November. 5 months. She's got to face the music about what she's done in that city. This is going to be one of the greatest campaigns ever. Now, do I think Spencer Pratt at the end of the day is going to get elected mayor? I don't know. He's got a shot. I mean, he got 30% of the vote. Now, Bass, I think, got 35%, and the communists got another 20, I think, percent. So, on paper, Bass got 55%. So she's likely to win. But this guy's voters are coming out. But here's the thing. And it's got the same thing with Steve Hilton. Steve Hilton led the ticket last night. A lot of people at the beginning would say, the Republicans might not even get in the runoff. Tom Steyer, who is an out-and-out American-hating communist that ran to the left of everybody, right? Ran for president, I think, whenever Biden won, what was that, 2020, ran for president there, spent $700 million on a gubernatorial race and got crushed, right? He came in third or fourth. I mean, he's not even in the thing. And Becerra's got so many problems. Steve Hilton can actually make this a race. You got now a Republican ticket in California. I'll tell you the other thing. Those 5 seats they got, we might win 1 or 2 of those. At least one, the Issa seat, the Darrell Issa seat, we could actually win that. Nobody saw that coming. Look, people are fed up with this, folks. So it's what I guess I get on here. I tell you every day, people are fed up. You have poked the bear. I don't want to get animated today, but you look at Los Angeles and you look at the disaster going on there, the homeless and the needles, and you know what Spratt is saying, you got homeless people outside of an elementary school. You got them defecating on the sidewalk. You've got human feces and urine just flowing down the sidewalk. People just pee. They just pull their pants down and pee right in front of the schools. We don't have to live this way. This is a choice. And at least 30% of voters in Los Angeles last night said, you know, I'm not going to live this way anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm done with this. I'm not going to allow my city to just evolve into disrepair and disgusting filth. This is a choice that we've been making. And this is why I'm so fired up about what happened last night. This is a choice that we're making, a choice that we don't have to make. That's the beauty of this. There are alternatives. You know, and this campaign in Washington, D.C., I'm more fired up today than ever after these results last night, because it just takes balls and a plan. You got to have balls and you got to have a plan. That's what Spencer Pratt did. That's what Steve Hilton did. You got to have balls and a plan. And we got balls here in D.C. and we got a plan, and so does Trump. And he's turning this city. It's magnificent. You know, folks, I got such pride in this city. I know it's adopted. I've not been here, but, 2 years, right? I get it, right? It's not, I didn't grow up here. Lived here during Trump 1, but only during the week. Went home on the weekends. Certainly didn't call it home like I do now. But I'm driving in from West Virginia yesterday through Maryland, and I go over the Memorial Bridge. I got my truck, Joe's truck actually. Go over the Memorial Bridge, and you come into the city. And what's the first thing you see? First thing you see is the Washington Monument. First thing you see is that park there. Then you drive by, you see the National Mall. You're driving in, of course, it was a beautiful day. Every park, I didn't see a scrap of paper, not a paper cup, not a bottle cap, not a cigarette butt. It's pristine. It's beautiful. The flowers are blooming. It's green. People are walking down, they're happy, they're safe. National Guard is there. Walking around, making sure nobody's harassed, making sure they're safe. You drive in now to D.C., I'm telling you guys, this is my line, but you think you're going into Disneyland. It is that beautiful. You go into New York, you get out of that tunnel, what do you see? You see squalor and filth the minute you get out of the Lincoln Tunnel or the Holland Tunnel, or you get over the George Washington Bridge. The minute you get out, it's disgusting. Look, you take a train now to Union Station. This is not Penn Station with that filth going on. You get out of the train in Union Station. Soon as you get out of the train and get on the platform, what do you see? National Guard. What else do you see? Right? You see plants. It smells great. You don't see the floors have been mopped 3 times a day. They're continually mopped. When Biden was there, you got off that train, you smelled urine. They would pee on the floor and nobody would clean it up. That's what you smelled. Homeless would be just strewn all over the floor. Just going to the bathroom there. Nobody did anything about it. We chose that. We don't have to choose to live in filth and squalor. We can choose cleanliness and beautification. We can choose safety. And we're waking up. It started with the Virginia referendum. You can trace it back to there. That's where it started. This is the beauty of politics now. You have poked the bear. People got up off their couch. I know you're busy. You don't have time, but you got up and said, I've had enough of this. California voters, you're right, Dan. California voters want a better way. American voters want a better way. If you can do it in Washington, D.C., and you can bring it to the people in Los Angeles, you can do it in every major urban city. I had Nicole Harris on yesterday on Chairman's Corner. What a delightful young lady. See, I love Chairman's Corner. I love what I'm doing. People say, why do you do this? Where else do you get the opportunity to bring people like that on? Just a gem. These people are fighting. Yes, she's in a blue state. Yes, she's trying to save her husband's seat. I get it, on the Eastern Shore. But, we talked about the once great city of Baltimore City. Used to be gorgeous. Used to love to go there. It was fun. The harbor and, then you built Camden Yards and it was gorgeous. Now, the last time I drove through it, I have this app called Waze, and I was going to Pimlico. This is before Pimlico was in rehab, refurbishing, reconstruction, right? Upgrades. So for 1 year, they're not racing there. So it must have been last year when I got here. I'm a race fan. I go to Pimlico. I figure, well, I'm going to drive there because, you can't get there on the train. So Ann and I are driving. And Joe happened to be home that day. We took Joe. I don't even remember when it was. But I had that Waze app. And the thing that Waze will do, it'll take you around traffic, but it'll take you through neighborhoods. So a lot of people don't like it. They prefer Google Maps or something. But, I do the Waze. It's fine. So there must have been traffic backed up somewhere. So it takes me through downtown Baltimore to Pimlico, which is not in a nice section of town. Pimlico Racetrack. And my goodness, we're driving there. Of course, you can't carry a gun in your car in DC. You just don't. The rules are clear. So we have no carry in the car. I'm driving down through the neighborhoods. It was a pretty nice day, so it had to be fall or spring or summer. I don't remember. The windows, I got my window open. I got the air on, but I got the window open. Closes the windows. I told Joe, lock the doors. Driving down, homeless, gangs, boarded up windows, glass, filth. I'm like, where am I? It looked like I was driving through Beirut after a bombing. Looks like I was driving through Hamburg after it got leveled by the Allies. I mean, I'm just driving down there. It's just, what is this? What planet am I in? It was that bad. And in a car with windows rolled up with no protection, I'm like, I just got to get out of here. I mean, if a gang surrounded my car, what was I going to do? I got my wife there. What are you going to do? You hit somebody, you go to jail. What are you going to do? I mean, I took a breath, put both hands on the wheel, drove 15 miles an hour just to get out of there. We don't have to live this way. This is the way they've chosen to live in Baltimore City. And you got the same thing in Philadelphia, as I told Ms. Harris yesterday. I used to work at the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I lived at an apartment complex during the week. This is when I was in Atlanta. I'd go up there Monday, go back on Friday when I was at the Philadelphia Inquirer, when it was owned by Knight Ritter. Back then, it was a great paper. It was great. Philadelphia Daily News, Philadelphia Inquirer. And I lived in the same building as a 76ers star, Allen Iverson. Of course, he had the big penthouse. I just had an apartment there. But I would walk, and I don't remember this street. It was a while back. But I would walk from whatever street I was on to the Inquirer, and there was a food truck there. Guy was there every day. Great guy. I'd get coffee there and go into work. And I'd get out at night. I had season tickets to Drexel College basketball, downtown Philadelphia. Walk there. Never a worry in the world. You're in Philadelphia, right? City of brotherly love. Today, you couldn't make that walk. We have allowed our cities to decay. We have allowed our cities to become disgusting, deplorable ladens of filth. We have allowed this. We don't have to live this way. Look, I'm 68 years old. I am determined. This is why I'm running this campaign here. Why are you running? Why are you doing this? So I want to bring attention to the fact you can choose a better way. Trump has proven it here. You come to DC. I got a bunch of people coming tonight for a dinner that I'm hosting with some friends of mine and their wives. I'm like, hey, coming from Northern Virginia, whatever, coming from Maryland, hey, don't drive here. Park at the Metro, take the Metro in, off at McPherson Square, perfectly safe. You can bring your wife and you can go back at night. You got nothing to worry about. National Guard all over the place. Cops all over the place. Metro police all over the place. And we can do this. We can find a better way to live our life. And you're seeing that in California. So people say, why are you doing this? Because you got to believe. You got to have balls in a plan. Truth and clarity. If you give people a true choice, and it's not Mandami affordability, that ship sailed. They got away with that one time, and then Spanberger proved what a fraud it is. Okay, they got away with it once. They're not going to get away with it again. John, why are you so optimistic? Well, look at all the polls. We're going to lose everything. We're going to lose 30 seats. It's a disaster. Trump's going to get impeached. It's affordability. No, it's not. War's going to end. Gas going to go down. Gas going down now. Why? Well, because people know it's going to end. We got gouged, and now it's going down. Right? In Maryland, when I stopped for gas yesterday, $3.39. In Cumberland, Maryland, $3.39. Not $5. Like it to be $2, but it beats $5. Right? Went to West Virginia, got gas right there, right across from the stadium where the bus is. $3.49. $3.49, $3.39, not $5. Is anybody talking about this except me? Am I it? Now, I know where you are, it might be $4.50 and you're pissed. But these are coming down. It's transitory, in the words of Janet Yellen. Lace them up, folks, and lace them tight. Get ready to fight. We're going to take this country back. We're going to start by taking our cities back. Look, it's not going to be in November. It might take a cycle or two, but we can do this. Why are you so optimistic every day, John? Why are you so happy? Because I see the future. I knew this was going to happen in one of these cities. I knew this was going to happen in California. They're rejecting the left's message. Steyer spent $700 million, $650, trying to get that nomination. Almost $750 million he spent. Think about it. $750 million in a primary, and ran to the left, get rid of ICE, get rid of cops, couldn't make the runoff. Becerra got in the runoff with Hilton, who's got all kinds of issues. So can Hilton win? Sure. Can Pratt win? Absolutely. No question. Is it an uphill fight? Sure. Karen Bass has been exposed for the fraud she is. Affordability is a problem in the country, but the Democrats' solution to it is communism. That's exposed. And you saw it here in Virginia. That's why you go back to this referendum. That's what turned the tide. They say, well, Trump lost to some governor's race by half a point in Iowa. Who cares? Okay, I went out there for 10 days. We told you what was going on. We told you the congressman out there wasn't going back to the community enough, didn't work hard enough. And the number one issue out there was eminent domain, and he didn't do anything about it, and so he lost. And so you're going to get a great conservative Republican governor that Trump happened to back the congressman. That's fine. It's irrelevant. And there was a big turnout in Iowa. Big turnout by Republicans. We're not going to lose Iowa, nor are we going to lose any of these red seats. All the Democrats that are running these candidates, we got great candidates in red seats. You're going to lose every single one of them, so keep spending your money. We don't care. This is the day to revel. This is the day to look at the future. This is the day to say, if it can happen in LA, it can happen anywhere. This is the day to say, if you think outside the box and you're willing to take on the establishment and get rid of the labels and bring solutions, you can win. Or you can make a difference. And sometimes you don't have to win in politics to make a difference. Reagan ran in 76. He didn't win. He made a huge difference to the party. Those primaries that he was winning at the end there, Texas and California and Indiana and so forth, and North Carolina, he changed the party forever in 76, opened them up for 1980. Everybody was all depressed when he got beat. People were crying in Kansas City. I was born in 58. 76, I was 18. right? Everybody's crying and this and that. You know, I was Reagan chairman of New Jersey for Young Americans for Freedom or something, 18 years old, in college, Fairleigh Dickinson. I wasn't crying. Look, we had a hell of a fight. We almost stripped the nomination from a sitting incumbent, Gerald Ford. We came, Clark Reed in Mississippi close. One guy screwed us, whatever. Okay, it happens, but you set it for the future. There'll be people here behind me. I will blaze a path, and somebody's going to step up after me. Because I'm 68, they're going to say, hey, we can do this. Spencer Pratt is building a coalition. Steve Hilton, they're blazing a path. Might not win, but they open the door to a new way. To a new way. To a way that doesn't include John Thune blocking everything we do, sitting on his hands with his thumb up his butt, pointing fingers at everybody else. There's a better way than this. And this is why MAGA is bigger, better, stronger than ever. And we're gonna win this war, and gas prices are gonna plummet, and the Democrats will have nothing except Virginia and the communists in New York. 888-480-JOHN. I am fired up today. You should be too. You should have spring in your step today. Okay. Let's get to, Dan says, my mom and family were there in 76 in Kansas City. It's one of is the last great convention in the history of conventions for Republicans. You went to Kansas City, you know what? Reagan was behind, but he was one guy away, and that was Clark Reed in Mississippi, who had like 35 delegates, promised it would be winner take all. He wouldn't do it, lied, and so that's what happened.
Yeah, jumping on really quickly here, John. Yeah, my mom was there, and she said when Ford rather graciously invited Reagan to come down and speak, and he just gave that impromptu speech, the reaction in the Coliseum was basically, oops.
That's right. That's right. Wrong guy.
Wrong guy.
Wrong guy. Wrong guy. No doubt about it. And that was just a great convention. Reagan almost pulled it off. He won New Hampshire, he would have been the nominee. But, these things happen. But it was a great campaign, and he blazed the path forward, right? And a lot of people are upset that he picked Richard Schweiker. I like Schweiker. So I thought it was a brilliant pick. I like the guy. So, but hey, that was 76. That's what? That was 50 years ago, right? 50? If I'm doing my math? 50.
Yep, 50.
50 years ago. Look at, it took Trump until 2016. So, that was 40 years ago. It took 40 years to get this movement. It's a 40-year movement. Started by Reagan in 76, winning those primaries where they had written him off for dead, and people started looking at Ford and saying, I don't think so. So look, and they pulled that every stop. I don't want to get into that. It's not part of our show. But you got to get fired up today, because we can do this. We can win these midterms. And you know what? Supreme Court just ruled in our favor in Alabama. We got another seat there, which I said we would. We got a seat in Louisiana. We got a seat in North Carolina. We didn't get the seat in South Carolina. Disappointing. They're not getting the seat, as Nicole Harris said, in Maryland until 28. We'll worry about that in 28, because we're getting a bunch of seats in 28, including Georgia and Mississippi and others. We just got to hang on in 26. We hang on in 26, we're going to have a permanent majority in the House. Look at the glass right now. It is half full. It is not half empty. And we're filling it up with clean, beautiful water. John Fredericks Media Network, trucking the truth across America. We've got, who we got coming up? Steve in Virginia, hang in there, Steve. I went in a rant. Yes, Dan, that title is fine. Let's roll.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB Port.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. He's the leader of the pack, at least so far. Roughly 55% of the vote counted. Trump-endorsed Republican Steve Hilton is in the lead in the California gubernatorial primary.
To every single person who voted for me, and every single person who voted in this election, whether you voted for me or not, I am here for you, for every single one of you.
Hilton could face Democrat Javier Becerra in November in the Los Angeles mayor's contest.
I just want to take a minute to tell you how much I love you so much.
Democrat incumbent Karen Bass leading as the vote count goes on, with Spencer Pratt close behind.
I'm going to continue to work hard, learn everything I need to learn, build my teams, show all the experience I'm going to surround myself with.
The latest primaries took place in a half dozen states. The U.S. Supreme Court has spoken. Alabama will be able to use a new GOP-friendly congressional map in this year's elections. The Trump administration is throwing in the towel on a proposed $1.8 billion fund to compensate those who say they were prosecuted for purely political reasons.
There was a fund. And remember, the fund wasn't set up yet. There were no commissioners named. There was no claims made yet. So, yes, we're not moving forward with the fund. I'm not sure what that means to sign documents reversing. There's nothing to reverse. We're not moving forward with the fund.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche asked about the matter during congressional testimony the other day. Another challenge to the fragile U.S.-Iran ceasefire, with both sides exchanging fire in the Persian Gulf once again. And Kuwait says its international airport has now partially reopened after an Iranian attack. It is a mixed picture on Wall Street at the moment. The Dow futures are down 212 points, while the Nasdaq futures are up 40 points. S&P futures down 11. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
So you lift weights? Good for you.
The researchers looked at data from nearly 150,000 people over 30 years. They found those doing 90 minutes to 2 hours of weight training weekly lowered the risk of death from any cause by 13%. This was 19% lower for cardiovascular disease, such as from a heart attack or stroke, and 27% lower for a neurological disease. This observational study doesn't distinguish between cause and effect, but the researchers say there's growing evidence about the benefits of combining aerobic exercise and strength training.
And that's the BBC's Dominic Hughes. At least 22 civilians killed, 138 others wounded. The result of one of the latest Russian attacks, a massive aerial attack on Kiev and other cities in Ukraine. The assault with hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles began overnight, continued into the daylight hours. News and analysis at townhall.com. There is speculation these people could be treasure hunters, although it's far from the most pleasant place to search for lost loot.
A series of bizarre sightings of people popping in and out of New York's sewer system recently has authorities wondering what exactly is going on. Video shows at least 3 cases where groups of people have been spotted in the night entering and exiting the sewers in Brooklyn and Queens. Experts say going down in the sewers illegal and extremely dangerous, and not all that pleasing to the sense of smell either. Jason Walker reporting.
CBS News has fired longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley. came a day after he reportedly said that editor-in-chief Barry Weiss was, his phrase, murdering the show, and accused its new producer of having slender qualifications for the job. Townhall.com.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
I'm John Rose, and I have the honor of representing Tennessee's 6th Congressional District in Congress. As my time in Washington comes to an end, I want you all to know that I plan to finish strong. That means helping as many of you as I can between now and January. So if you are having any issues with a federal agency, please reach out. Whether you're having difficulty getting a passport, you're waiting for an IRS refund, or you're being denied a medical claim by the VA, my team and I are ready to help. Constituent services is one of the most important things I do as your elected representative. You can reach out at johnrose.house.gov or call my office at 202-225-4231. Again, that number is 202-225-4231. I'm John Rose, serving you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Trouble concentrating or recalling information is frustrating, embarrassing, and kills productivity. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created Focus and Recall to boost your brain power. Unlike other supplements that don't work, Focus and Recall is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra-absorption of science-backed ingredients to help you immediately sharpen focus, concentrate longer, and strengthen recall. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code GODZILLA.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Tired of fumbling for your phone, wallet, or keys? Don't put it in your pants, put it in your pocket. Meet T-Pocket, the practical tees, the shirt that keeps it all in reach. Designed in the USA, assembled in the South, these tees feature smart built-in pockets for easy access. Long sleeve, short sleeve, available in most colors, with your favorite teams and logos to come later. Shop the full lineup now at tpocket.net. Fast shipping, easy ordering. Grab yours today and level up your everyday carry. Put it in your pocket with T-Pocket. tpocket.net.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
No, it's great to have you with us. Great to be back. I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America, coming live from Washington, D.C. Thanks for joining us today. As always, just got back from West Virginia, where the West Virginia Mountaineer baseball team, well, they're going to the Super Regionals, and it's in Morgantown, and it's at home, and that place is going to rock, and we'll be there Friday. We'll be there Saturday. We're not going to be there Sunday because we don't have to, because they're going to close out Cal Poly in 2 games and then move to Omaha, and of course, we're going to be there. For all your sports information on WVU on the West Virginia Mountaineers, baseball, football, doesn't matter, track, rifle, whatever it is, rowing, basketball, we got it all. Football coming up too. Just go to WVSportsNation.com, WVSportsNation.com. I'm going to download the app there, WVSportsNation.com, and you're good to go. And if you want to download the app, App Store, Google Play, WV Sports Nation, you get all the updates there. We're doing 5-6 articles a day on this stuff. You don't want to miss what we're doing. Great bunch of writers, great team, company's growing, so it's all good. And thanks to you and our advertisers like Barry Draper, who's going to be coming up here in a few moments. It's all good in Hollywood, as they say, as it was last night. That's why we're fired up. And we want your calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Don't forget my big victory party coming up on June 16th. And just go to MakeDCGreat.com, MakeDCGreat.com. Make an investment in our campaign. Give us a donation. $200 is the max, whatever you can give. If you can't attend, you just give $50, you buy a ticket for somebody else. We'd really appreciate it. But we got a big event going on, and we're closing out our financial report. I think comes out next week, or like the end of this week or something. We close out. We want to show that we're viable, and we want to show that you can run a campaign here, and you can run a MAGA campaign, and you can get a lot of votes, and that's what we're doing. So our primary is June 16th. We know you got a lot of people asking you for money, but I ask you to just help us out. Go to MakeDCGreat.com, be a donor, MakeDCGreat.com. We really appreciate it. If you're ever going to donate, now's the time, because we really need. We got all these events coming up. We got a mailer going out. We got phone calls going out. Got to pay for all this stuff, and help us out. Go to MakeDCGreat.com, and you're good to go. Okay, let's get to the phone calls. I think we got Steve in Virginia. Is that what we got? Steve, you're live.
Good morning, Chairman Fredericks. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, Steve.
I got a couple things, and I'll make it real quick, which is that I am glad to hear that the Supreme Court did allow Alabama to keep the new maps, so that's a good thing. Good things happening in California, too. And I think when we see that the trend is heading towards, a possible victory, sometimes people tend to say, well, that's great. And then they sit back and they want to watch the show, but and not get out there and do something. But, there's an old saying that to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And so while we're, still rejoicing today in what happened last night as far as, the primaries, I want to bring up something that I've been concerned about for almost a year now, which is what are the Democrats going to do in October? Because early voting starts, of course, in the end of September here in Virginia, and other states, too. They have early voting. So my issue is the budget. The budget battle that went on last year, I believe, had a big effect on...
You're talking for our national audience, Steve. You're referring to the state budget of the Commonwealth of Virginia, right? That's
no, I'm referring to the federal budget.
Oh, the federal budget. Okay, you lost me there. Okay.
Right. I'm sorry. The federal budget, has to be done by October 1st, and that will be early voting has already started.
Steve, you can't be serious. Yeah. I love you, man. Steve, when have we done a budget by the end of the fiscal year? The budget is due in June. When was the last time we even had a budget in October? Never. So there'll just be one continuing resolution with amendments. I mean, there are no, the one job of Congress, Steve, which you pointed out, and thank you. The one job of Congress, is to do a budget. They haven't done a budget since Jimmy Carter. There's no budget. We never have one. It's one continuing resolution after the next. They never pass. They never pass the bills out of Congress. They never get through the committees. They never do anything. You're supposed to have a budget today because our fiscal year ends June 30th. There's no budget. There's no budget in October. And then you start the shutdown talk. I mean, it's been going on for 50 years, dude. It's Carter had the last balance. Forget balance. Carter had the last budget. It was like 78. So, yeah, but you're right. People are voting and there's no budget. There's no nothing. It's a joke. On that, Steve, you're 100% correct. All right, I'll give you the final word. Go ahead.
What if the Democrats try to shut down the government again like they did last year?
It always seems to work for them. Never works for us.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're going to pull out all the stuff.
Right. So we need to be proactive to do whatever we can to stop that from being an effective tool for them.
Let's see. Republican Senate leadership, proactive. Think that's an oxymoron?
I'm dreaming, am I?
I'm glad I caught you in a good mood today, Steve. You know, it's good to dream, isn't it? What are your dreams? What are your hopes? John and Steve, what are your hopes and dreams? Well, that the Republican Senate would actually do something. Well, no. Pick one that's more realistic. Steve and John, what are your dreams and hopes? Well, I had this dream that we actually passed a budget before October. What do you think this is, like the Holiday Inn? We don't do that. Give me something we can like dream about that might happen. Like, I don't know, the Hurricanes come back and win game 2. I mean, you got a better shot at that. I mean,
it could happen.
Steve. Oh my God, a budget? Wow, that would be something else, wouldn't it? A budget. Thank you. Job.
Thank you for
one job that can't even do that. Right? How about Senator Blackburn yesterday? Right, John, I'm frustrated too. Yeah, I know you are. Yeah, I can't get anything done either. Yeah, I can't get Thune to do anything either. I love Marsha Blackburn. Why are you running? If I'd asked a question, why are you running for governor? She'd say, rewind this interview 10 minutes. That's the answer. Like, what she kept saying was, yeah, I'm frustrated. Yeah, I went there and talked to him. Well, what happened? Nothing. I did talk to him though. I mean, they just sit there, they do nothing. And I don't know, it was her or somebody else who said, I think it was Jenny Beth who was trying to get the Senate elected by the state assembly or something. But, you know, she did have a good point. She said, you know, the senators sit there, they got 6 years and they don't really have to do anything until they're there for 5. Then they start campaigning again. So we'll see what happens. But Steve, always good to talk to you, man, and keep the faith. What are you paying for gas there, Steve?
I just paid $4.39, which is crazy because during COVID and during Biden, I never paid $4 a gallon. So it was always $3.99 was the highest I ever saw, and so this is kind of strange for me that so many other places in the country are paying less than here, which I always figured because of the large military presence that gas prices were kind of kept down not to demoralize the troops.
I mean, I paid $3.49 yesterday in Cumberland, Maryland. $3.49 off of I-68. $3.49, $3.59 in Morgantown, West Virginia. So I don't understand why it's $3.39 in Maryland, and then you go to Virginia and it's $4.59 or whatever you guys paid. Like, why is it $1 more? Like, Maryland has high taxes, so it can't be like, well, Virginia's got high gas taxes. It's just gouging, dude. They're just gouging us. And these prices are going to come down, and they're going to come down over the summer. They're going to come down by a lot. And Lori says the price of beef is high. Okay, well, I don't really have the dynamics to tell you why that is. I think fertilizer, maybe, I don't know, but beef is high. So, but beef prices go up and down. I get the affordability thing, but if you think you're going to solve it by electing Abigail Spanberger governor, you're nuts. John Fredericks Media Network. Hey, thanks, Steve. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the donations as well, Steve. Thank you. All right, joining us now, our good friend Barry Draper, big supporter of the show, and Barry, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, good morning, John.
Hey,
from sunny Florida.
I know, right? Would you do me a favor, Dan in there? Would you play Barry's song? It's such a beautiful song that he put together, and he gave it to us. I'm going to try to get the White House to play the song either before the fight or after the fight or on our celebration. I've sent it to some people. Dan, can you key that up and play Barry's song? Because it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And later on, at summer's close, the crack of bats where heroes rose, we cheered at games beneath the sky, remembering those who sacrificed. Oh, liberty, land of the brave and true, blessed by God in all we do, from golden shores to mountains grand. The greatest blessing in this land, we raise our voices clear and bold, a story that will not grow old.
Barry, what a beautiful song, and you themed that one for baseball, which we were playing before all of our West Virginia pregame broadcast for the Mountaineers. But how did you come up with that?
Well, the concept is mine, and the thoughts behind the lyrics are mine. But John, you're going to be floored by this. That entire song is produced and put together by AI. In fact, I jokingly call the vocal artist, his name is Alan Ingalls. Right?
Alan Ingalls, right?
But
AI.
The entire song, that's just a little short clip. The entire song is 5 minutes and 16 seconds, and your audience can download it for free and see the entire version at songforliberty.com.
What inspired it, Barry?
I'm a patriot, and I wanted to give something to the church, and this website that I set up for this is basically a page full of resources for evangelical churches to use in their services. And I'm a retired pastor myself. I don't know, it was God thing, just brought it to me, and I said, let's get on this and create it. And that's what came out. I'm just thrilled with it, and I appreciate so much you're playing it. Thank you.
Well, we play it every day at 8 o'clock, Dan. We play the other version, not the baseball version. But Dan Hobgood, our executive producer, plays it every day at 8. So, and we don't have to worry about any of the, what are they called, Dan? The copyright thing, right, Dan?
Yeah, copyright infringement or anything else like that.
Yeah, because
Copyright
it's Barry's
violations.
song, so we're not copywriting anything. But Dan, I know that you also put some things together. You put our outgo music through AI.
Yeah, I wrote our show theme. Yeah,
tell our audience, you and Barry, how that thing works.
Yeah, well, I responded to your email from yesterday, Barry, basically explaining that I used a platform called Suno, essentially to an AI orchestrator. So I wrote out what I wrote and then funneled it into Suno, and out came and gave it instructions. It took a little while to tell it, no, I want it to do this. No, I want this kind of sound. I want these instruments. But after a few hits and misses, it finally was like, oh, okay, now you're getting it. And I mean, I could have done this myself by hand, quote unquote, but it would have taken days, if not weeks, to do it all out. And this AI program, I mean, just spits it out in a matter of a minute. It's like, wow. But it's super convenient. I'll put it that way.
John, I have a degree in music. I could never have written that song. I write, but I could never have written a song that beautiful. And it took the thing that impressed me was it took the themes and the content that I suggested, and really made a heartfelt lyric out of all of that. And it's a very patriotic lyric. I wish I could have written, and there are people in the country who could do that, but I'm not one of them. But the creative juices were flowing one day, and I entered the AI and I said, "This is what I want you to produce," and that was the result. Now I have a nephew who helped me with the images, and I have a son who helped me with the video editing to put it all together. The final product does have some human content to it, but primarily the song was produced entirely by AI. Yeah.
Well, we're your platform to play it here, and of course we played at 8, and then we have pregame shows coming up for the next I think Friday and Saturday, and then hopefully not Sunday, but maybe for the Mountaineers, and that's our opening song. The baseball version
Thank you.
is
That's
our opening
awesome.
song. So look, it's gotten a lot of traction, and I think it's beautiful. One other thing I want to get into, Barry, is a lot of small businesses and a lot of people really struggling in this economy with healthcare. I mean, the costs are just through the roof. I mean, if you had any idea, I'm on what was it called? I'm 68, so Medicare, right? So I'm on Medicare.
Me too.
I'm still paying just for me. And this is without the supplemental gap coverage, which I think Ann pays for separately. I think that's like $600 a month.
Ooh.
It's like 25. So I'm paying like $3,000 and I'm on Medicare. Like, what is the purpose of that? I don't even know why I'm on it. I'm like, we just need to get off that. It's like a joke for what you have to pay. But you have a healthcare company that I've checked it out and might be one of the best things out there, because if compared to unsubsidized healthcare programs out there, you can save 40 to 50% on your program, and you get $15 copay. You have a network. You've got a tiered prescription program. It covers all major things. It covers your checkups. Explain what your concept is and how you've been successful, because you've also now launched it in West Virginia and Pennsylvania and other states.
Well, we're in 46 of 50 states, John, and your area is huge. A great opportunity for business people. Right now, we're targeted for the audience of people such as yourself and myself who are successful, who make too much money to participate in the Unaffordable Care Act subsidies. By the way, I don't know if you're aware of this. There is a Senate bill and there is a House bill. The Senate version is sponsored by Rick Scott of Florida, that would allow the money going for subsidies to people to go back to the people and out of the insurance companies, and would go directly to the people, and the people could decide to buy programs that were more affordable, such as this one. Let me give you the Senate bill number on that. I've got it here. Yes, it's 3264, Senate Bill 3264. And but our company, basically, our catastrophic program is covered by a private health share company called EverTrust out of Nevada. And it's a 501c3 charitable trust. It's not a religious share organization, but it operates very much like the religious share organizations. They cover our catastrophic needs. We have a fully insured insurance plan covering the outpatient side. That's a nationwide PPO network that gives you $15 copays at the doctor's office. It gives you $50 copays at urgent care. It provides you with unlimited telemedicine. So you just pick up a phone and get a doctor on the phone if you're sick. That's free. That's included. Has a fully tiered prescription drug plan. All of that is wrapped up into one package. It's called the Smart Health Plan. I'm able to label it. We've labeled it in your area as Mountaineer Healthcare, as you know, and we're sponsoring the super region or the regional that was just passed. And I got to tell you, John, you owe me I owe you, or you owe me some thanks. My Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets made it possible for you guys to host the super regional. Thank you. right?
Nobody saw that coming. A lot of upsets. They went down in flames. Everybody expect Georgia Tech, one of the best hitting teams in the country. They scored 10, 12, 13, 15 runs a game. Nobody saw that coming at home, going down. They're knocked out. So yeah, I mean, their loss gave West Virginia Mountaineers, the home regional place, are going to be going crazy there. But Mountaineer Healthcare, which is one of your companies from the Smart Health Company, well, they're helping families and individuals and businesses. Well, they get quality healthcare coverage without getting destroyed financially. And here's what it is, so everybody knows. So check this out. You get complete and comprehensive coverage, including hospitalization, surgery, and critical illness protection. You also get access to a nationwide PPO network, and the copay is $15. Now, if you need quick care, like sometimes we do, unlimited free telemedicine, that's included with the plan, with a doctor of your choice. Now, if you need prescriptions covered, they'll get fully tiered. You get fully tiered prescription drug plans too. Now, it doesn't matter if you need an individual plan for yourself, if you need a plan for your family, if you need group coverage for your company, right? Mountaineer Healthcare has flexible options. This is designed to save you serious money. And here's the kicker. Rates can be 30 to 40% lower than unsubsidized marketplace plans or traditional group coverage. Now, all you have to do to get real savings for working Americans like us, call 833-752-6742. 833. Dan, put this in the Chiron. 833-752-6742. Or go to, doesn't matter where you are, go to mountaineerhealthplan.com. You can be in Atlanta or Nashville. Doesn't matter. Go to mountaineerhealthplan.com. Mountaineerhealthplan.com. And Mountaineer Healthcare and the Smart Health Company. Smart coverage, real savings and peace of mind. Truth, clarity, real healthcare savings. Barry, that's a really great idea.
Yes, sir. We're having fun with it, helping people save a lot of money and still get great coverage.
Again, check this out. You have no downside. Check it out. Get a quote from Barry's company, mountaineerhealthplan.com, or call 833-752-6742. Barry, want to thank you for being with us today. Want to thank you for all you do. Thanks for being a sponsor of our WV Sports Nation bus. Going to the Super Regionals, you get a bonus, baby. Let's go.
Y'all beat Oklahoma.
We're going to beat them all, dude. We're going to Omaha.
Great. Hope you do. That's awesome.
Barry, thank you.
Thank you, John. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right. Your calls are open when I get back. I want your calls when I get back. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646.
First order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com. Code Godzilla for 20% off.
What if those who were once called conspiracy theorists turn out to be right again? A new study by Korean doctors claimed that COVID vaccines raise the risk of 6 cancers, including lung, breast, and prostate. Researchers analyzed health records from more than 8.4 million adults between 2021 and 2023, and their findings were published in Biomarker Research, a respected scientific journal. Critics dismiss it, but the data raises concern that spike protein exposure may be tied to long-term health risks. And Dr. Peter McCullough has been aware of this since 2020, which is why he collaborated with the wellness company to create Ultimate Spike Detox, designed to help your body clear spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. With natural ingredients like nattokinase, dandelion root, and bromelain, it is your daily proactive defense from a man-made virus. Don't wait until symptoms strike or something unexpected happens. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, one of the top doctors who risked it all. Go to twc.health/Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla to get 10% off plus free shipping.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
This meeting with China and President Trump, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Listen, China's not our friend. They've been stealing our technology. They've been stealing the AI, responsible for the COVID. We have to be very, very careful about giving stuff to China.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
It's the top news of the day.
China wants the oil from Iran.
They want to make a deal that's good for them and not piss us off too much.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
Mike, at any point in your coaching career, did you ever have an interest or express an interest in being a head coach in the college game? And do you have any idea how that may or may not have led to folks like Ryan and Doug Whaley and Carson Palmer connecting you to some college jobs?
Hey, guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Anyone else? All right. Thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? You know, anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
He's the voice of Virginia.
No, you can't. You have one of the worst voices I've ever heard in my life.
And the commander of common sense.
Fire at will, Commander.
Now back to the John Fredericks Show.
He has just been looking for dirt on Trump's political opponents. You're a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. You care about who's in the cabinet. How concerned are you about this?
Look, of all of the appointments, literally, Jen, of all of the appointments to date, many of them catastrophic, this one is the most disturbing. And we cannot let the fact that Bill Pulte is not a household name prevent us from informing the public about the danger posed by his appointment as Director of National Intelligence. This guy has no background in intelligence. He is a thug and a hack who abused his power at the top of the Federal Housing Finance Authority to dig through federal records improperly for any information he could find about the president's political adversaries, and then try to get them prosecuted by Pam Bondi's corrupt Department of Justice. Having somebody like that at the head of the intelligence community is a recipe for unprecedented abuses of the vast powers of our intelligence apparatus. And, you know, I saw Senator Thune even today said we don't need a weaponized intelligence community. Everybody needs to be getting Republican senators on record in opposition to this dangerous, disastrous appointment. This is going to require some of the most intense Senate oversight in Senate history if we have a political hack like this atop of the intelligence community. And again, you saw Tulsi Gabbard. She came down to Georgia, the nation's spy chief, and oversaw a ballot raid as the top intelligence officer in the United States. It is deeply disturbing that with the election upcoming, they've put Bill Pulte, a political hack, at the head of the intelligence community. It speaks to the intensity with which we're going to have to defend voting rights. And again, folks can help me defend voting rights at electjohn.com.
Wah! 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 Whine, cry, you're going down. Listen, Derek Dooley is, I believe, going to be the nominee. I think he's going to take this guy down. All they do is whine and cry, whine and cry, whine and cry, whine and cry. Affordability, whine and cry. Communism, whine and cry. I'm so sick of them. Are you sick of these Democrats? I'm sick of all of them. They're just a waste of my time. Wah, wah, we don't like the guy that Trump nominated. He's a political hack. Wah, wah. Tulsi Gabbard went down to Atlanta to get ballots. Wah. Yeah, she went down there because you stole the election, you doofus. Here's a guy who's never had a job. Like a trust fund baby. You know what trust fund baby is? Never have a job. You got a trust fund. You get millions of dollars of generational wealth. You get it. You never have to work. Go to college. You go to best schools. You don't have to do anything. Right? You never do anything. Dan calls him pajama boy. I mean, why don't you go get a job, right? Your job is in the U.S. Senate. You ran for this, ran for that, ran for this, ran for that. Never had a job. Unbelievable. This is how these are the clowns running our government. How do you run a government? You never run a business. You never had a job. You never did anything. You never did jack.
What'd this guy do? Oh, he's got great constituent services. Yip-de-doo-dah. Whine and moan is all they do. So anyway, it's good to have everybody with us. 888-480-JOHN. You want to weigh in? 888-480-5646. Now, a groundbreaking new study shows that there's a safe and inexpensive potential cancer treatment. Check this out. And it's a drug that many of you already know. Ivermectin. Ivermectin. What's that? Well, now it looks like ivermectin and mebendazole are a combination of two medications that could be very effective in cancer treatment, because we all know chemo, not good, right? With mixed results. Now, this new study shows from the wellness company some good news. There's incredibly promising results, and that's where the wellness company comes in. Now, look, you see and hear on my show from the wellness company doctors all the time. We had Dr. Kelly Victory on the other day. She's my doctor for telemedicine. And you see it all the time. But the wellness company is making 100% American-made ivermectin and mebendazole. They're making them both right here in the United States. So you could say no to big pharma's greed and no to big pharma's poisons, and say yes to a company that you can trust to bring you safe and affordable and effective treatments. If you or someone you know has cancer or is suffering from cancer or is early diagnosis and interested in trying this combination of ivermectin and mebendazole, then I urge you to go to twc.health/Godzilla today and order it. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order that today and get your 10% off, and you are good to go. So we thank the wellness company for all they do. I just, after I had Kelly on, I had an issue I'm dealing with. I had Kelly on Monday, and I had a little telemedicine thing with her going on, riding the bus, and, set it up. It took me about, 5-minute call. Hey, here's what's going on. She said, do this, take that. No big deal. Don't do this other thing. If that's recommended, I don't recommend that. So I got a second opinion. No big deal. But this is why the wellness company is right at your fingertips. They're such great doctors and great people. Okay, let's get to the phone lines. And the phone lines are open just for you, because this is your show. We're a community. We don't always agree. Dan, we don't always agree, but we don't have to. And sometimes it's good to have a little spirited discussion like I did yesterday with Jenny Beth. Doesn't mean I don't love Jenny Beth. This is the first person I had dinner with when I got to Atlanta was Jenny Beth, right? First one. So we go back years, but we don't have to agree on everything. It's okay, right? It's okay. You don't have to agree on everything. I'm not going to cut you off. I do want to hear what you have to say, but if I don't agree with it, then we got to have a debate, which is healthy for the country. That's why we have this show. This is a community. I want to hear from you. Even if you get mad at me, call in and tell me why you're mad at me, and that's fine too. It's all good. Hey, how about the article that was done on my campaign in the Washington Post? Made front page. I think I was out of town I think it was on Friday, Dan. Made the front page of the Washington Post. Front page news. How'd I get to be front page news on the Washington Post? How'd that happen?
It's impressive. That's impressive. I hope everything with the Washington Post is behind a paywall, so I will confess I have not been able to read it. Was it
Here's how you read it, Dan.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
First of all, you should be on our email list. The fact that you're not is like crazy. So I want you to do two things.
Okay.
Email Tina and send her your personal email.
Okay.
And say, put me on the John's email list, the general list. Secondly, here's all anybody has to do to get out of the paywall. Go to TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. You can go there right now. TrumpNationNews.com. And it's up there, and there's no paywall. We have the whole thing with the Post's permission because, we detail it out, but it's all there. Just go to TrumpNationNews.com, TrumpNationNews.com. It's right on the header. hit that button, and you'll be able to read it there.
I've put it up on the screen for everybody. TrumpNationNews.com. So there we go.
Yeah, go ahead, put it up.
Yeah,
TrumpNationNews.com.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, well, no, I'm definitely going to read it today. But was it a flat? I'm hesitant to ask. Was it a flattering article? Was it okay? Did they do you justice?
It was
fair.
fair.
The Washington Post. It was fair. Good.
Fair.
Okay.
It was fair. The Post has written about me for a long time. Many different writers. Laura Vizela, Sarah, that's no longer there. She took the buyout. Vizela took the buyout. But they're always fair. They've always, to me, been fair, right? So it was a fair piece. And look, the chairman of the party, Patrick Mara, who was cited in here, really looked ridiculous. He looked like a clown. Not the Post fault. When you say things that are ridiculous and you sound ridiculous and you throw a guy out of the party like me that has done nothing but work, and you blow off your vice chairman, who is my political director, Christina Goodlander, you blow her off, you turn off her mic, you turn off my mic on these executive calls or whatever they are, and then you throw me out of the party because you don't like the fact that I'm doing something. Here's the problem. If you do something and the other people don't do anything, what happens? They look bad. So they don't want anybody to do anything. And if nobody does anything and you continue to get 5% of the vote or 7% of the vote, you can walk around at a cocktail party with a badge on that says chairman. Nobody will bother you because you don't win, you don't care, and you're never outed. Then you get a guy that come in that he invited me in. He called me and invited me. I mean, I donated $1,000 to the party when I first got here to join the advisory committee. Ann and I donated $1,000 because we want to support our local party wherever we are. It's a great thing. And called me up, made me Ward 2 chairman, did a meet and greet, put me on the executive committee, and then I started to do things. Well, you're not supposed to do anything. You're just supposed to show up at a call and not say anything. And you're certainly not supposed to have town hall meetings or events or bring people together or get the young Republicans involved, get the college Republicans involved, get the log cabin Republicans involved. You're certainly not supposed to do any of that. Because like we have a cocktail party at the Capitol Hill Club and you pay $1,000 once a year to get in there and eat chicken fingers or something.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that sounds like DC cocktail Republicans.
That's it. I come in, you make me chairman of the ward. I want to do something. I want to build the ward. That's the purpose of the job. That's the purpose of it. I took this seriously. I didn't take it so I could go on a Zoom call every 2 weeks to waste my time. And then a budget comes up and, Christina, the vice chair, who they hate because she asks questions and she's the vice chair of the DC GOP, she asks a question about the budget. And they start like attacking her personally on the call. It's like, I'm not going to allow that to happen. I mean, she's my political director. She's really smart. She has something to offer. She's got questions. Then it gets around to me. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to comment on the financial aspects of your budget. But if you're going to have a budget, I need to know what the vision is before I vote for your budget. What's the vision of the party? What's our objectives? What are our goals in 2026? What percentage of the vote do we want? What races are we focused on? We don't have a candidate for mayor. Is it attorney general? What is it? Like, can you the vote do you want? Well, we can't even have that because of ranked choice voting. What does ranked choice voting have to do with your percentage of the vote? Like, what is the plan? Cut off my mic and threw me out of the party. Attacked me personally. And then threw me out. But now I'm going to win. And now I'm an elected official come June 16th. And they can't do a thing about it. That's how you get change. I could have just said, what the hell with this? I don't need it. But I didn't. I said, okay, I'm going to get signatures and I'm going to run. And I'm going to run a campaign and I'm going to win. Whoever your candidate you try to put up against me, I will win because I'm doing something. And then you have to deal with me because now I'm an elected official and you can't cut off my mic or throw me out. Because I got to win.
Good for you. Good for you.
This is, and they asked me in the article, why are you doing this? Because I ask our listeners to do this every day. precinct strategy, you got to join your local party and get involved no matter how distasteful it is. Because without that, you can't affect change. So you got to lead by example. So if I'm asking other people to do it, why am I sitting around doing nothing, discouraged because somebody threw me out?
Yeah.
They tried to throw out, hey, when Nancy Babbitt in Atlanta joined Forsyth County, she got a nasty email. He said, you're chapping my ass. They tried to throw her out. They tried to throw out Amy Covington. They always try to throw you out. They don't want you. You got to fight. Now Nancy's like running the Forsyth GOP. This is how you move ahead now.
Well, a good general says, wouldn't ask you to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself, boys. So, yeah, there you go.
Read the article. It's an interesting piece.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have it read by the end of the morning.
If you read that,
mm-hmm.
and you look at this guy, Patrick Mara, who's the chairman, who I have no personal issue with the guy. He's a good father. He's a good guy. I have no issue with him. He's got an issue with me as his problem, not mine. But if you read what he said, it's like, this is why we're getting 5% of the vote. Because you've created a clown car. That's basically.
And I'm hearing you right. You donated essentially to him and to the organization, and he still did what he did.
Ann and I donated $1,000.
Oh my gosh! Then you don't do that to donors, folks.
Well, but then what they did is, they threw me out of the party, and Ann, they threw us both out. Ann didn't have anything to do with any of
right.
that. They throw Ann out.
What's that? What does she have to do with any of this?
And then we gave $500 to go to an event with Tim Scott. It was a $500 event. So Ann and I going. So we gave him the $500. I mean, we're good people. We want to support the party. So we were on the host committee. So they threw us off the host committee and then told us we couldn't go. And then Ann says, well, give me my $500 back. And they did.
Right. Are you serious?
They're supposed to raise money. They gave Ann back the $500. Back to her card. Took us off the host committee and said we couldn't attend the event.
Holy cow.
How do you build a party when somebody's out there in the most influential ward with 5,000 Republicans who I do texts, I do emails, I do calls every day, right? I have a column up, DC Dispatch, go to dcdispatchnow.com. I do a column once a week. I have policy positions. And you throw me out and you throw Ann out and give us our money back. What? I have a national platform. I have Chairman's Corner. I have the DC Dispatch come on. What is the purpose of this? Don't like it. Do nothing. See, if you do nothing and nobody else does anything, you can walk around with your badge.
I'll say this. You don't have to, perhaps. I gotta wonder in a situation like this what sort of backroom deals are going on, because it's just weird to have somebody in that position who basically is lying down for the competition. I mean, what would we say if this were the San Antonio Spurs versus the New York Knicks or the Carolina Panthers versus the Vegas Golden Knights? We're just not going to put a goalie out tonight. What do you mean we're not going to put a goalie out tonight? What do you mean, Neil O'Donnell? You didn't see that any Pittsburgh Steelers were on that side of the field when you threw those interceptions to Larry Brown? I mean, it does prompt some concerns and questions. I'm just going to say.
You play to win the game.
You play to win the game.
It doesn't matter if you don't have any wins. That's why I love playing that piece. It's my favorite piece in the world. You play to win the game. Hello? I don't care if you don't have any wins. We don't have any wins here in Washington, D.C. I don't care if you don't have any wins. You play to win the game. If you don't want to win, get out. Retire. Get out of my face. You play to win the game. In the infamous words of Herman Edwards. Love that guy. I don't care if you don't have any wins. You play to win a game. I came here to play to win the game. They don't want to win. They want to get 5% of the vote. They don't want to win.
That's crazy.
You may have nailed it. Maybe there's a reason they want to get 5% of the vote. I don't know. But it seems odd when you've got somebody with a national platform that gets the president and major senators and congressmen on their show on a daily basis and has this national platform and is right here in D.C. and lives in the district and gave you $1,000 to help build your party. And I never said a word about anything. I never complained about anything, never said a word. I just put my head down and he asked me to serve as Ward 2 chairman. I put my head down and I did, and I do what I do, which is try to build the ward if I'm going to take the position. And the first thing I did was have a meet and greet. We had 50 people there. Then I had a town hall meeting. Ask people what's going on. Was everybody just in the second ward? No. I got people from all over the city. Who cares? That was the problem. Because they knew if I'm doing this, it exposes them for doing nothing. And I did it myself. Ann and I did it. And we've had 3 meetings. Now we got a major party on the 16th that I encourage everybody in the area to come to. Corey Lewandowski, Morgan Griffith, Brandon Beach, because we're trying to do something. Yeah, you do not have to be living in filth. You do not have to choose to get 5% of the vote. You don't have to choose to do that. You can choose a different way. You can choose change. You can choose a better way. You can choose energy. You can choose activity. You can choose vision, strategy, policy, and you can take it right to the voters. And maybe you're not going to win, but you're going to go now fighting, Dan. You're going to fight. I mean, I get up every day. Listen, you think this is easy, what Dan and I do every day? Dan and I getting up at 3:45 every day. This is not easy. And we're always under fire. But look, you got to fight. You got to play to win the game or get out. And when I'm done trying to win, then I'll retire. John, when are you going to retire? The day I get up and I don't want to win. That's the day I retire. That's what I told my boys. That's what I told Joe playing baseball. Right? The day you don't want that ball. The day you don't want to see your name called when that manager goes out to the mound and he puts his left hand up. The day you don't want that, get out. Get out. When that manager goes out there and you're warm and he puts up his left hand, you better damn be ready to go out there and win or get out. Does that make sense? That's why I'm fired up today. I got to fire everybody up. I'm tired of the we can't win and this and that and affordability and I get it sucks. But we're gonna fight our way through it. And President didn't go to this war because of Netanyahu, or it's not a war of choice. He went to Iran because his intel that he believed told him they were too close to a nuclear warhead deployment. And he cannot allow that in the world. So he stepped up and he did what he had to do. That's why I love my president. Is he perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. Is Dan perfect? No. One perfect man died 2,000 years ago. That's it. Nobody's perfect. But I know that I got a guy in there 2 blocks from me that got up today, whatever time he got up, and he's fighting for America, and he's fighting for you. Might not agree with everything he does. Might not like everything he does. Might not like what he says and how he says it. But you have no doubt that that man gets up at 80 years old every day to fight for you. John Fredericks, Media Network, Trucking the Truth across America. Morgan Griffith coming up. Tim, I'll take you as soon as I get on. I know you've called a few times, and both times I got on a rant, and it's Dan's fault. Right back at you.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB Port.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. In California, it could be a Hilton-Becerra runoff. The two gubernatorial candidates running neck and neck as the vote counting goes on. Following yesterday's primary, Tom Steyer brings up the rear. Los Angeles Democratic Mayor Karen Bass will likely advance to the general election and will likely be challenged by Spencer Pratt, a registered Republican who is running as an independent. One of this year's most closely watched House midterms is in New Jersey. Democrat Rebecca Bennett will challenge incumbent Republican Congressman Tom Kean Jr. come November. Kuwait briefly shut down its main airport after Iranian drones heavily damaged a terminal building and left one person dead. The latest salvo in a series of back-and-forth attacks by Tehran and Washington that have strained the fragile ceasefire. Ukraine has sent a reminder of sorts to Russian President Putin. We're still here and we're still a force to be reckoned with.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says on social media that long-range drones flew more than 600 miles to hit an oil terminal in St. Petersburg, setting it ablaze. Clouds of black smoke rose over the city's port after the attack. Russian authorities said only that the Ukrainian drone strike targeted the city's infrastructure without providing further details. Although the city airport briefly suspended flights overnight because of the attack, authorities also cut off mobile internet services. Putin said to speak on Friday at an economic forum in St. Petersburg that the Kremlin views as a prestige event, although major Western investors and officials will stay away. I'm Charles Dilletesma.
The Trump administration plans tariffs of 10% or more on some major trading partners following an investigation. It focused on forced labor. Watching Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures down 117 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The Federal Reserve has just announced a change in leadership, and that could have a profound impact on the value of your retirement. That's why now, more than ever, you need Advantage Gold, the #1 precious metals company in America. Call Advantage Gold right now at 800-900-8000 and get your free gold and silver investor guide, a $49 value, plus a free copy of Ken Rogoff's latest book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, giving you powerful insight into the future of money, markets, and global currency trends. Our specialists can help you open a new account or transfer funds from an existing IRA, tax and penalty free. Markets are unpredictable and they can turn fast, but precious metals are a safe haven asset that stand the test of time and volatile market conditions. The question isn't if the next shift is coming, it's when. Are you positioned? Don't miss this opportunity. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000. Results may vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Parts of Japan are being pounded by a powerful storm.
Tropical storm Chang-mi is moving up the Pacific coastline towards central Japan as authorities warn of flooding, mudslides, and overflowing rivers. Evacuations have been ordered for more than 350,000 people, including parts of Tokyo. More than 800 domestic and international flights have been canceled so far, with local transport, including the Shinkansen bullet trains, also facing disruptions. Officials are urging residents to continue to monitor advisories.
The BBC's Krumi Mori. 3 Australian appeals court judges have reserved a decision on whether an activist can prosecute King Charles for alleged genocide of Australia's Indigenous peoples. The plaintiff turned to the Supreme Court of Appeal in Victoria after 2 lower courts had rejected his bid to launch a private prosecution of the monarch. News and analysis at townhall.com. A couple of major college conferences are withholding support for a college sports bill that's pending in Congress.
The 2 biggest conferences in college sports say they do not support the current version of a bipartisan bill designed to regulate an industry struggling for answers in a quickly changing era in which some players make millions. The Southeastern and Big Ten conferences said the bill leaves critical issues unresolved, including not meaningfully preempting state laws with a federal one. That's long been considered a key element for a measure to get support from the NCAA and the conferences. A Senate Commerce Committee hearing about the bill is scheduled for Wednesday. I'm Geffen Coolbaugh.
Macy's is reporting its fourth consecutive quarter of comparable sales gains. The department store says an overhaul of its merchandise and improved customer service drove more spending by its customers. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep is infuriating. Your mind races, you toss and turn. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created REM sleep to help you quickly fall asleep, stay asleep, and sleep deep. Unlike other supplements that don't work, REM sleep is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra-absorption of science-backed ingredients supporting all 4 stages of sleep. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. healthycell.com. Code GODZILLA.
Ponder this. We intake oxygen every time we breathe, and breathing is how we stay alive. When God first created man, he breathed life into him. Our Lord also breathed spiritual life into his apostles and filled them with the Holy Spirit at the first Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Later on, at summer's close, the crack of bats where heroes rose. We cheered at games beneath the sky, remembering those who sacrificed. Oh, liberty, land of the brave, blessed by God in all we do, from golden shores to mountains grand. The greatest blessing in this land, we raise our voices clear and bold, a story that will not grow.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth,
the Oracle of the deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
John Fredericks Media Network. Great to have you with us today. As always, finally back in beautiful, safe, beautiful, and clean Washington, D.C. Don't choose filth. Choose us. We want to keep your city clean and beautiful. That's what President Trump is doing. Great to have you with us. Joining us by phone, Congressman Morgan Griffith, 9th District, Republican, Freedom Caucus member, Virginia. Morgan, great to have you with us.
Good to be with you.
Hey, listen, first of all, I want to thank you for agreeing to join us at our great victory party on June 16th. You've been hearing the congressman come on my show all these years, 15 in a row. And you're probably saying, well, I've never really met him. Is he as cool as he appears to be on the radio and TV? Is he that cool? No, he's cooler. He's actually even cooler than that. And you can meet him on June 16th at our victory party, which is going to be at the iconic City Tavern. I understand that George Washington went there, had a couple brewskis after a tough day back in time. And that's an iconic place. City Tavern is going to be fun. And one of our featured speakers there, Morgan Griffith. You want to check that out. Tickets only $50. Plenty of food, open bar, fun. Anything you do with us is always fun. So you get to be at the Cool's table with Morgan Griffith. So he's going to be there. You need to be there. Just go to makedcgreat.com, makedcgreat.com. You can buy your tickets there. And even if you can't make it, you can buy your ticket for somebody else and just say, hey, give it away to a college Republican or young Republican, and you're good to go. So just $50. So join us now, makedcgreat.com. Congressman, great to have you with us. So,
I just have to say, John, I got to start off by saying I don't know that I've ever been called cool before. Now, if you're into policy and legislative rules, then maybe I'm cool. But most people just say, well, he's kind of interesting. And sometimes that's positive and sometimes that's negative. But it's the first time I think I've ever been referred to as cool. Anyway,
are cool.
You were going to – sorry.
You are cool. I mean, you
couldn't help but smile.
You are cool.
Well, now, if you ask my wife Hillary, she would tell you, "Oh my gosh, no, he is not cool." But anyway,
go
she
home.
She loves me, but she wouldn't say I was cool.
you tell her tonight. Hey, Frederick said I was cool. Is that true? See what she says, and then get back.
I already know what she said, but I'll get back to you on that. All right.
You're cool.
Now to business.
All right. So the weaponization fund that never was a weaponization fund. What is? I think John Thune didn't like it. It just went down the tubes. Trump got a lot of criticism over it. Do you have any thoughts at all on that?
It's frustrating, and politically this was the right thing to do. But Democrats have been using sue and settle to fund their left ideas. What they do is some environmental group, other group sues the government, then the Justice Department under Democrats settles the suit, and they give millions and billions of dollars to these third-party organizations who then go out and use it to file more lawsuits or to promulgate policies or to push for policies that are from the extreme left. So I didn't see it as a whole lot different than that. I think the one thing that probably was and should be changed because they've still got to settle this suit. It's a legitimate lawsuit the president and his family have brought. They probably ought to have some third party as opposed to the president making decisions or to the executive branch making decisions as to who gets the money. Let it go in front of the courts to determine if somebody has been, set up the parameters, and then let the third party organization take it to the courts to approve the settlements, because you and I know there were people involved in the whole arena that were attacked by the Justice Department who should never have been. Then there were some bad guys, and of course the Democrats were successful in saying that the money was going to go to the bad guys. And so I think it has to go back and be revamped, but it's a sue and settle. If we want to get rid of sue and settle, I'd vote for it in a heartbeat. But the Democrats don't want that. They just don't want conservatives doing sue and settle. So what we need to do is we need to get it revamped, bring in a third party like they do. They get some group that looks like it has, hands off, even though it's a part of the the left wing organizations, but get some group that at least is one step removed from the White House to administer it and make the deal again, but make it a little bit different with a few extra strings attached.
You think they're going to do that? Not to do that?
I don't know, but that's what I would advise them to do. I mean, unless we're going to ban sue and settle, which I would tell you, I think I've actually voted for it before. It has not passed. I would vote for it in a heartbeat. Get rid of this sue and settle. Make everything come before the courts for them to determine what's right and what's wrong. Because right now what's been happening is they settle it. The court people, the Justice Department and the left-wing groups have been coming in and saying, we got a resolution to the lawsuit. And, of course, the judges always approve those things unless they see something that's absolutely out of line. And the Justice Department says they want it. Both sides agree. Why would most judges are never going to look at that? And so if you want to get rid of that, where you say you got to look at it and determine that it's actually right, fair, and just, then that's great. That's great. But until we do that, I think that this is sue and settle from the right. And if they're going to use the tool, then we ought to use it too. And so it ought to be there for us to take a look at. But I do think it needs to be one step removed from the executive branch so that you've got a third party who's sorting it out and maybe even having judicial review. And probably ought to pass a law that says every one of these sue and settles has judicial review, not just a rubber stamp. And I'm not blaming the judges. It's the way the system is set up.
Right. No, I think it makes a lot of sense. The whole sue and settle thing, it just encourages people to bring these suits and, because the judge just wants it off his docket, so they accept the terms and you all move on. But if you got rid of that, I think it would change. It would be a game changer. Let's get to something I know you're a little bit familiar with, but this is kind of a big deal. We got a Montana NIH lab. We got a guy that's got monkeypox now from a monkey bite. The monkey got smuggled into the United States. And here we are. We still got these NIH labs out there. And I know you're somewhat familiar with this story. What is the deal with this thing?
Well, and what you got a couple of different stories. You do have a monkey that bit somebody. That monkey did not have monkeypox. In fact, I would submit the monkey who bit one of the workers there had something worse. They had that monkey had Crimea, Congo, hyphenated, hemorrhagic virus. Now, the hemorrhagic viruses are all dangerous. I was in Argentina talking with their health department a few months ago, and we were talking about a hemorrhagic virus down there that NIH is studying it, but they're studying it in Argentina. And so I have some questions as to why we have, live virus at the lab. And then I have questions as to these scientists who were bringing in samples from Africa of the Mpox or monkeypox, goes by both names. And there's an outbreak there. Is this the questions that I have, and I've already instructed my team to write letters. We just learned about this yesterday. But which version of monkeypox was it? Is it a new version that we haven't seen before? Because NIH has said they weren't doing anything, but there were concerns that they were looking at two different of the Mpoxes. One is highly deadly, and the other one's highly contagious. Now, the outbreak currently in the Congo appears to be the one that's highly contagious but not deadly. So you get a rash, and it's a real it's discomforting. It's uncomfortable, but it's not that deadly. The other one, though, is extremely deadly. Why were they trying to sneak this stuff into the United States? Why did two scientists working with our NIH try to sneak samples of allegedly deactivated, I want to know whether it really was or not, deactivated Mpox out of Africa? Why are we doing that? And why are we trying to sneak around on this? Is there some research going in to monkeypox and whether or not they're doing gain of function? These are all questions that get raised. It's too early to say we should panic about it, but this is serious stuff. They've got a monkey who's in a position to bite somebody. This is all at the Rocky Mount NIH lab out in Montana, and I also gave orders last night when I learned about this to see if we couldn't make an arrangement during August for me to go out there and see exactly what they're doing. It's a DSL level 4. That's your highest level of biosafety lab. And we need to be very, very careful, because what happens is the scientists, and look, they're very bright and they live in a different world. They're cool in their world of science, but sometimes they get carried away with research. I'm still convinced that's what happened in Wuhan, is that scientists got together and, you know, some of them one night said, hey, let's see what happens if we do this. And the next thing you know, you've got millions of people dead. We have to be very, very careful. And when you hear that they're trying to go around the laws of the United States and smuggle this stuff into the United States, it makes me wonder what's going on out there.
Well, I think that's the big question, is why were they smuggling this in?
That's the question. Why? I mean, if you're doing legitimate research, get the permits, let everybody know what you're doing. And in fairness to the leadership at the NIH and the NIH folks in Montana, they may not have had any knowledge. But now we have to do an investigation, because I want to know who knew what was going on. Did they know that they were bringing this stuff in? Did somebody do a wink and a nod, say, oh, the customs people won't ask? And where exactly did they catch it? It appears from the news stories they actually got it at the airport, that it never got inside the country except at the airport. But then it was carried on the airplane.
Talk about
and who handled it. Right.
Yeah, I mean, who, was it in baggage claim? Was it in the guy's bag under a seat? I mean, how big is this stuff?
They said it was black cases, so I doubt it was carry-on, but I could be wrong. But these are the questions that we have to get answered. And DOJ just released this, and everybody, our law enforcement people are doing their jobs, from the people at the Detroit airport all the way to the top folks at the Department of Justice were doing their jobs. But now I've got to do my job and find out what the heck is going on, because, as chairman of health and former chairman of oversight and investigations for energy and commerce, this is under our bailiwick. Are these labs doing what they're supposed to do, or are they going rogue? And the problem with them going rogue is that they could have an accident and boom, millions of people could die. I don't want that. I don't want that on my watch.
That's what happened in the Wuhan lab. So you're okay. So that everybody knows, you're the chairman of the subcommittee under health, right? I mean, you're the chairman of that.
On health, that's correct.
Right.
That is correct.
The subcommittee under energy, what was it? Energy and
commerce, right?
So the subcommittee.
We have jurisdiction over policy related to healthcare, over policy at the National Institutes of Health. That's our jurisdiction. We don't have the money. The appropriators and the Ways and Means people have control of the money. But when it comes to policy, should you be researching this? That's our jurisdiction.
Right.
Should you be bringing this virus into the country, deactivated or not? Our jurisdiction. Now, there's rules already out there. So we have monkeypox or mpox virus in the country already, but it's not supposed to be brought in on a commercial airline without certain safeguards. Were those safeguards followed? I don't know. And why were they sneaking it in? Why did they say this is just some testing equipment when it was, in fact, deactivated mpox viruses? Or at least allegedly.
These are the questions that have to get answered. What was the purpose of smuggling it in? Why are they smuggling it in? But according to the reports, the customs officials got it, right, before it got into the States.
That's my understanding, but have they done it before? I mean, we have to.
Right.
It raises lots of questions.
This might be one of 12 times they did it, and this one it happened to get snagged. And I guess it got snagged. Like, how would it even get snagged? They would have to open up the cases, right, and then figure out what was in there. There's no way other to snag this. Somebody had to open these things, which could have exposed them, right?
Yep. Yeah, somewhere along the way, law enforcement had to open them up, because otherwise they'd have gotten away with it. Now, again, I've got to learn more about this. So we're getting a letter out today to NIH and probably to DOJ to find out, if they can't give us a briefing on exactly, when, where, and how they found it, and how many trips have these people made before. Now, they've been working in Africa, and maybe this is the first time they've come back since the latest outbreak. And maybe they want to study, is this a new hybrid version of the Mpox? But you know what? You don't do that by sneaking the samples in.
Yeah, and then you got to answer the question again. We have to keep asking it. Why were they trying to sneak it in? What were they going to do with it? What was the purpose of it?
I mean, if it's legitimate science, you'd think you'd be able to follow the regular protocol. And again, if the protocols are too complicated, then come talk to me. If we need to do something different so that you can get the deactivated virus of whatever sort into the United States because we've made it hard, and it should be hard, but if it's too hard, then come talk to the policymakers. Don't decide to take the law into your own hands and sneak the stuff in, pay no attention to those black cases filled with virus. No, that's not what we're supposed to do.
Oh, it's pretty bad, man. Just everybody's awareness is raised now because we know what happened with COVID. And so everybody is suspect, right? And of course, as soon as something breaks, everybody starts to think, well, here we go again. There's going to be another fear mongering, another virus, open elections, mail everybody a ballot, drop boxes, whatever, to steal another election. I mean, that's shut down schools so we don't educate our kids. I mean, it happened, and people are still, people still haven't gotten over what happened with COVID. I mean, they're still suffering from it, especially scholastically. I mean, we took a 2-year hit in this country on education. It's shameful what we did with these schools. Shameful. And we're still paying the price. It's just a horrible situation. Morgan Griffith with us. He is the chairman of the Subcommittee on Health and the Energy and Commerce Committee of the United States Congress, Republican 9th District, also member of the Freedom Caucus. And Morgan also a very savvy lawyer and had a leadership position when he was in the House of Representatives in Virginia, which is all kinds of buyer's remorse going on there, separate topic. But Morgan, I want to get to just the inertia now that nothing is going on in the Senate. Everybody's frustrated. I think that's one of the reasons that Blackburn, who was on my show yesterday, the senator, is running for governor. She just said her frustration has hit its apex. They can't get anything done. Thune won't do anything. They just sit there, poking a rock. You guys pass all this stuff. You got like a 2-seat majority. You pass all this stuff, it goes to the Senate, it dies. When are we going to get a budget? When are we going to get these appropriations through? Like, is that on the docket? What do you see there, Morgan Griffith?
Well, we have the second of our appropriations bills coming up this week, and that's on the ag approach, and so we're working it on the House side, but you have to get some work done on the Senate. I mean, people, and of course we still have the reconciliation bill where we got a lot done, but people back home are saying, what are you doing? Well, the House is passing all kinds of things, and then it goes over to just languish in the Senate, sometimes to die, sometimes to never be heard from again. It's inappropriate, and as you and I have talked many times, the modern filibuster rule needs to be abandoned. They need to go back to the old rule where you could stand up on the floor as long as you wanted to and argue as long as you wanted to, but you had to be there live. You couldn't be off having a steak dinner somewhere. You couldn't be back home in your home state. You had to be on the floor making the arguments. And while there was some frustration in the early 70s that people were doing that, they at least got the bills. Today, you can't even get to the bill. You can't vote on it in the Senate, and the system is not functioning. And I hate to be redundant, but as I've said to you before, when they first created the filibuster rule, it was this way. the margin was a little higher. You had to have 66%, but to stop the debate, but you had to be physically on the floor so people would wear out. And the longest individual debate that ever happened was a little over 24 hours. So even if every Democrat senator took the floor, you're talking about a couple of months, maybe 3 at the most. If they took the floor for 24 hours, they won't do that because they have to do one right after the other to stop the bill under the old rule. And what's interesting is the second generation of American leaders took up, and it was a little bit different, but it was the same concept, Calhoun's tyranny of the majority, where he was arguing that you needed to have super majorities to be able to do anything. And they rejected that just before the Civil War. They rejected that concept and stuck with it. Now we have this, this concept that you have to have 60 votes to get something passed out of the Senate. That's not, in the 250 years of the United States, that has not been the rule except for maybe the last 54 years. It's not been the rule except for the last 54 years. So for 200 years, we operated without the modern filibuster rule. I think we can do better without it.
It's interesting you bring Calhoun up because I kind of forgotten about that in history. For those of you maybe younger in the audience who don't know this, Senator Calhoun, a very fiery senator from the South, wanted a supermajority to get anything done. He wanted 66 votes in order to pass anything. And obviously he did that for obvious reasons because they wanted to
slavery.
They wanted to slavery. They wanted to protect the southern states, and they had enough southern senators to block anything. So you would have never gotten anything done. That's why John Calhoun brought that up and tried to make that a reality so that they were immobilized, so they couldn't do anything, right? Well, that got rejected because then you don't have a republic. You have basically a minority of 34 senators stopping anything from getting done. So that got rejected. So, and then, we all know what happened to Calhoun and all that thing, how that thing ended, not very favorably. But he tried to do that, and it didn't get done. And now we're in the same position. It was interesting yesterday. I went back to that tape when I was driving back from West Virginia. I went back to the tape, and it was almost chilling. And I love Marcia to death. Everybody knows that. It's like when I talk to her, it's like I'm at her breakfast table with her husband, having a cup of coffee and a bagel. I mean, it's just kind of that kind of conversation, very loose. And I said to her, well, why can't you get the SAVE Act on the floor? She said, John, we don't have the votes. Frustrating. Blah, blah, blah. Marcia, why can't you get rid of this filibuster? Well, John, we don't have the votes. We don't have 50 votes. We got a 53 majority. John, we don't have 50 votes. We can't bring the SAVE Act. We don't have 50 votes. She said, we don't have the votes. And the way she said it was chilling. And I'm complimenting her because it was a frustration and fierceness. And she's only a tiny little thing in her voice, but it was, John, we don't have the votes. And that's where we are. We don't have the votes. And we got a 53-seat majority. Like, when are we ever going to get the votes, Morgan?
Yeah. Well, and here's what happens if you didn't have the modern filibuster rule, which requires you to get to 60 to even bring it to the floor. Sometimes on these bills, like the SAVE Act, where the American people wants it by greater than 70%, some polls show at 80%, but clearly greater than 70%. If you only have to get to 50, if you get past the procedural rigmarole that requires you to have the 60 votes, and you only have to have 50, all of a sudden every senator is looking at that vote because they know their constituents back home are in favor of it. And while they say behind the scenes they don't have 50 votes, my gut tells me there's 50 votes there. That somebody who's saying they're not for it right now, if you could get it to the floor, get past the 60-vote threshold of the modern filibuster rule, get it to the floor. Now, maybe you have to do some negotiating like Speaker Johnson does, and sometimes votes take a little bit longer. But my guess is you get to 50, and then J.D. Vance breaks the tie, and the American people get something they want. And for those who don't know, Save America is voter ID. Voter ID.
That's it.
I mean, that's
voter
the
ID.
main thrust of it.
Voter ID. 80%.
Voter ID.
80% of Americans want voter ID, and that's what Blackburn said. She says we have voter ID in Tennessee. No problem, right? I mean, everybody we know who's voting. You got to be a legal voter. It's simple. You got to get an ID to get in a Greyhound, right? It's all good.
Yeah.
So, but it was just interesting because then I asked her about Collins, and she said, "Well, I've talked to Susan, and we could probably get her there." So she basically said the same thing in a softer way than you are because that's her colleague. But she said, "Yeah, we could probably get her there." Well, that's just what you said. I mean, Susan Collins is in a race right now, struggling to get to beat this communist whack job guy. And she can't vote no. MAGA will abandon her and she'll lose. So yeah,
It's not just MAGA. It's the independents.
Independents will abandon her.
It's the conservative Republican base plus the independents who want voter ID.
Right.
So I mean, I think if you didn't have the modern filibuster rule keeping it from coming to the floor, if it came to the floor, I think John Thune, if he is a good leader, and I assume that he is, or he wouldn't have gotten the position he's in. He's a good leader. He can then get that last 1 or 2 votes necessary to get to 50 and get J.D. Vance to break the tie.
Boom. And then you have it. So that's what we
Or
need
get
to
somebody to take a walk so that you get to, you get to at least get to 49-49.
Just take a stroll.
That'll do the trick too. Yeah.
Like Napoleon said when he came back from the island. He said, "Well, I took a stroll down the boulevard one night in Paris, saw the crown lying in the gutter, picked it up with my sword and put it on. Now I'm king." Take a stroll.
Yeah.
Morgan, I got so many of these sayings, but it is great to have you with us. We're way over our time. I got my producer, Dan, saying, "Dude, you're like 5 minutes late. Everybody's mad. You can't do it. I got to go." Thank you. Go to griffith.house.gov, griffith.house.gov, and meet Morgan Griffith. He's cool on June 16th at the City Tavern. Go to makedcgreat.com, makedcgreat.com. Thank you, Morgan, for being with us today. Your calls when I get back. Peach Crew, well, they're chomping at the bit for 9 o'clock. Keep it right here.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C. making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of DC GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Solti. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Solti for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Solti. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, you're on the John Fredericks Media Network, and I am your Godzilla of the truth. It's great to have you with us. As always, we're going to go right to the phone lines, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Let's get to Tim in Virginia. Tim, you're live. Thank you for your patience, Tim.
Yes, sir. John, are you familiar with the Mississippi mail-in ballots case that was before the Supreme Court?
No, I am not.
Okay, you need to get your staff on it. It happened right before the Virginia case. And the RNC and the Mississippi Republican Party, they're arguing mail-in ballots as far as the postmark date being counted after Election Day. And I think the Supreme Court's going to rule in their favor. It will affect 15 states plus the District of Columbia. And it's flying under the radar screen. And the case happened right before the Virginia referendum case. And it was more in-depth than that one. John even got so in-depth, they all confirmed and said all the justices, Election Day is one day of voting. They even admitted it. And then, on top of that, once they made that argument, okay, Justice Alito said ballots have to be handed by election officials. When you go early vote, you put it in the machine, you go to your polling place. He asked the plaintiffs, is the Federal Post Office and FedEx election officials? And they said no. He said, so I can go to my HOA, get 100 votes, and turn them in. There's no accountability. I'm telling you, if they rule in favor of this, it's going to set off a political firestorm that nobody's picked up on or covered it. You need to put your staff on it.
All right, let me get this straight, Tim. So I am familiar with the case. I didn't know it was from Mississippi, but I have cursory familiar with the case that the Supreme Court is taking up, that mail-in ballots cannot be counted if they come in, if they're received after the election day. So if election day is November 7th,
correct,
and it comes in the mail November 8th, it doesn't matter when the postmark is, they're garbage. They're not
correct.
Can't be counted.
Yes.
And the argument against that has been, well, the mail sucks and sometimes it's slow, and I mailed it a week there and it didn't get there in time. Well, then, if you don't trust that, mail it in 2 weeks earlier, take it there. So you got that
Correct.
going on. But look, and it's interesting what you brought up, which is fascinating, Tim, and thank you for your patience. Fascinating, because what Tim also brought up, he was talking about the ruling in Virginia about when the referendum got tossed by the judges here, and what the Democrats were arguing is that, well, election day is one day. That was their argument. The early voting doesn't matter. It's just one day. And, we had our vote on the referendum on election day. Therefore, people had a day to vote on it. And of course, the Supreme Court said, no, you got 45 days of early voting or something in Virginia, 2 months. 2 million people had already voted. No, they said it was only one day. So if it's only one day, then how is it not one day? Then, as you say, Scalia, and you're right about this, asked the question, well, shouldn't ballots be handled by election officials? Because right now they're not. Because I got my ballot. I'm running for office. Me and Joe got our ballots in the mail. We filled out our ballot. We filled in our name. We put in an envelope. We mailed it. There's no election official that was there when we got it, when we filled it out, or when we put it back in the mailbox. Right? So you're right about that. So what is for the Democrats here, Tim, in your judgment, as a layman, which is always better than the officials, what is the Democrats' best case and worst case ruling?
And the other thing is, here goes Justice Gorsuch. Now, this is before the Virginia case. He said, let's say you submit a mail-in ballot. Let's say you have a flawed candidate that commits a criminal act. Familiar? What's the recourse for getting that ballot back? They said there is none. Very familiar, right? There's no recourse to pull that ballot back. So, and they're going to rule in June. And if I think they rule in favor, which it sounds like they are, of Mississippi and RNC, that means Pratt will win in L.A. and Hilton will win the governor's race because they pulled the rug out for them. Basically, last night with California was pull Fairfax. They waited. They waited to see how many votes they need to try to close the gap. That's what they did. And this will pull the rug up under all that.
Okay, explain that, because, I mean, in California, they still count ballots. They'll be counting them for like a month or something. It's just got to be postmarked. But what get back to waiting to pull the ballots out, because I stayed up late watching those returns come in. That's why I'm tired today. I couldn't keep my eyes off it.
So you ever notice when we vote in Virginia, all the rural counties come in first. Fairfax County comes in last because they pull the ballots they need every single time. Well, the same thing happened in California last night. They said, they sat on the ballots. It's going to be a late night waiting for returns. Well, if the Supreme Court gets rid of that postmark and says they have to be in by that day to be counted, okay, because California, I think you can vote 5, 7, 10 days out. All that's gone. You see, I'm getting that.
Yeah. So if you're voting by mail, because like Los Angeles is like Washington, D.C., everybody gets a ballot, whether you ask for it or not. Like when I was in Pennsylvania and I lived in Pittsburgh and I ran there for a Trump delegate, in order to get an absentee ballot, you had to fill out a form. And it didn't matter if you do it every year. You have to apply for an absentee ballot or a mail-in ballot, they call them now. You got to apply for it. And in the application, you have to send a photocopy of your license or passport and your picture. You have to put that online, if you did it online, and upload it to them or put it in the mail. And then they would send you a ballot, and then you're legit, you fill it out, you seal it, you mail it back in. Here in D.C., which is like L.A., if you're on the voter rolls, you get a ballot. It's automatically mailed. And then you just got to mail it back. And the Democrats know who's not mailed the ballots back. So they start knocking on doors and picking up ballots and put them in boxes, ballots in boxes.
And see, a couple of the justices made a comment that the Congress should have enacted safeguards in regards to mail-in ballots. Congress should have enacted these safeguards. So that tells me that if they toss this thing out, they can put it back in the Congress's lap and say, you need to fix this. So if that ruling comes down this month, which I think it will, that is going to flip everything upside. That is going to be a political tsunami. It's going to flip everything upside down. Because like I said, it affects, I read the briefs, it affects 15 states plus the District of Columbia in regards to counting absentee ballot, counting mail-in ballots post-election day.
I think you nailed it. I think you absolutely nailed it. Tim in Hopewell, thank you. Anything else? Because I think you nailed it. Just making a quick note of that. Tim, thank you. Quick word from our sponsors. I'll be right back. Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
He's your Godzilla of the truth in America.
It's Godzilla!
No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You got him. Great to have you with us. This segment brought to you by the Safer Supervision Act. You know, there's this bill in Congress right now. It's called the Safer Supervision Act. As you know, I'm a big proponent of it. I love it. Fabrizio Ward, this is President Trump's own pollster, found that 79% of Trump voters support it. 79%. In the key districts that will decide the midterms, voters are 5 times more likely to back a candidate who endorses this bill. This is so important because what's broken is federal probation officers are managing over 100 cases each. That's just too many. They can't do it. Twice what is recommended. Should be 50 or manageable. People are slipping through the cracks, and that makes all of us less safe. The Safer Supervision Act fixes this, and it's in Congress right now, because it lets officers focus on real public safety threats instead of drowning in paperwork. And it's endorsed by the frontline officers who say it will help them do their jobs in a better way. 96% of Trump voters say public safety has to come first. This bill delivers that. Visit safersupervision.com and tell your congressman to get it done. Safersupervision.com. More information, safersupervision.com. This message paid for by the Reform Action Fund, and we thank them for doing this and all they do. Anthony in Florida, line 1, haven't heard from him since all his Florida hockey teams got bounced and the Buffalo Sabres got bounced. Haven't heard of the peep out of the guy. Now finally he emerges and calls in. Anthony, sorry all your hockey teams went down in flames.
Good morning. Like I said, hockey's all right, but and I gotta applaud you on Tony Dungy, one of the greatest coaches in Tampa Bay in its history. His son went to my alma mater in Tampa, one of the greatest high schools in all of Tampa, in all of Florida. So Tony Dungy, that's the best sound thing you do. I love it. You play to win the game. I love it. Hello, I love it. It's my all-time favorite, man. I hear it in my sleep, and that's you play to win the game. The minute you say it doesn't matter, quit. Don't play. Get out. Oh, it doesn't matter. Get out. So that's how I kind of live my life and how I do things. And that's what I expect out of politicians. You play to win the game. We need to win for the nation. So I love it. I love that. I love that clip, bro. I love it.
What's on your mind?
Okay. The Save America Act. I heard, Marsha Blackburn and the senator. What is the basic problem? If most of the public is for it, it's an 80-20 issue, and the public wants it, why? There's got to be something in it. Am I missing something?
Yeah, they're afraid. They're afraid the New York Times will call them a racist. That's it. Fear. So they don't want to vote on it. They don't like it because they don't want the New York Times to call them a racist. They don't want to be pinned on CNN as a racist, even though it has nothing to do with race. That's what they're going to do. So it's fear. Fear of the New York Times. New York Times is basically running the Senate.
So they're more afraid of them than us. They're more afraid of than a newspaper that I barely even only hear about is on the news.
Yep.
But they're more afraid of them than the people that are, because all I hear is like, oh, well, we're going on vacation, paid vacation. They get the best health care. They get they get steak dinners. They get the best this. They get the best that. Cars and perks and their little pins that let them pass through whatever, and you can't call them. And I heard the debate between you and the young lady yesterday. And normally I don't agree with you a whole lot, but what she was saying was crazy. But I'm not for that. That doesn't sound right. But there should be some sort of discussion. Somebody needs to do something because what they're doing is they're just ignoring the people. You can't call them. You can't get near them. They got security. They got everything. But
okay, so we don't
is going to punish them.
Right.
What do we do?
Right problem, wrong solution. So we don't have.
I agree.
You don't have this problem with state senators, and their terms in the majority of states are 4 years. 4. President's term, 4 years. Governor's term, 4 years. So why is a senator 6 years? The real answer is to cut it to 4. Now, that would have to pass the Senate, and they never do that because that's their Safety and Protection Act for jobs in perpetuity. But they should simply cut it to 4 years, and then they're more accountable. But you're right, man. It's the life. It's like, yes, Senator. No, Senator. Your car is ready, Senator. Your limo is ready, Senator. Would you like a pillow, Senator? Would you like a hot cup of coffee or a cold soft drink, Senator? Are you comfortable? Oh, Senator, your staff is here, all 15 of us, to make sure that you're prepared for your meeting with the Building and Loan Association. And we got your private jet ready to go. And is there caviar and shrimp on there? Oh, certainly, Senator. We have your favorite. Oh, thank you. Screw that. Sick of that. Get them out. John, we don't have the votes. Well, how about this, Senator? John, we don't have the votes. Chilling. Compliment to Blackburn. I love the lady. Truth and clarity. And the way she said it, go back to that tape. She was on the phone. It's chilling. John, we don't have the votes. Well, how about this, Senator? John, we don't have the votes. Peach Crew next.
We're not there yet, but it's looking good.
Right behind Hilton is Democrat Javier Becerra.
Tonight, the people of the great state of California, in the greatest nation on earth, have spoken. Loudly and proudly.
Tom Steyer in third place so far as the vote tally continues. Incumbent Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is headed to the runoff in November. Her likely challenger, Republican independent Spencer Pratt. The U.S.-Iran ceasefire challenged yet again.
U.S. Central Command says Iran fired missiles at Kuwait and Bahrain, but failed to hit their targets. Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard says it targeted the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Retaliation, it says, for the U.S. firing a missile into the engine room of another oil tanker trying to reach Iran despite the U.S. blockade. Central Command says it responded with strikes on an Iranian military ground control station on Qasem Island in the Strait of Hormuz. It all comes after Iranian news agencies reported Tehran had stopped communicating with mediators about a ceasefire. President Trump maintains talks have not ceased. I'm Ben Thomas.
No resolution yet of a hostage standoff, Bakersfield, California. A man who claims to have a bomb is holed up in a Chase Bank building and has been talking with police. On Wall Street, the Dow futures down 207 points. NASDAQ futures 13 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
In Britain, the death of a man while in police custody. He had been falsely accused by a Sikh man of racism and pleaded with police that he couldn't breathe while he was being held on the ground. Sparked a riot in Southampton, England.
Some bricks and an e-scooter were thrown at police. While officers with riot shields and batons attempted to hold a line along a street. Posting on social media, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, condemned those involved in the disturbances. She said there could be no justification for hijacking the tragedy of Henry Novak's death to stir up violence and disorder.
And that's the BBC's Tim Moffat. Therapy donkeys have been helping patients with mental health issues at a psychiatric hospital near Paris. Program offers weekly sessions where patients walk and care for the donkeys. Patients say the interaction provides relief similar to medication. Townhall.com. The White House Correspondents Association dinner has been rescheduled.
The dinner in April with President Trump in attendance was interrupted.
Everybody stay down, stay down.
The gunman who prosecutors say tried to assassinate the president tried and failed to get into the venue. Weijia Zhang, president of the White House Correspondents Association, says the dinner will be held July 24th at the Waldorf Astoria in Washington, formerly the Trump International Hotel. President Trump says he will be there. On social media, he called the rescheduling a sign of strength and fortitude and added, "We cannot allow lunatics to change our way of life or even its scheduling." Ed Donahue, Washington.
CBS News has fired longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley. It came a day after he reportedly said editor-in-chief Barry Weiss was, his phrase, murdering the show. He also questioned the qualifications of the show's new producer. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on 2 huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
Well, it's great to have you back. Peach Crew coming up. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, and I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America. Truth and clarity right here. We got the Peach Crew coming up. We got the big runoff coming up on June 16th. That's also the date of my election. So lots to cover here. Only got 2 more weeks, right? 2 weeks from today. Is that right? No, is it 3? What? 3rd, 10th? Yeah. 2 weeks from yesterday. I'm all mixed up with my days because of this baseball thing in West Virginia. and I think I got back late yesterday, and then we had an event. By the way, had a great event last night. Got to hear Kat Kamek. She was at Lindsay's event, DC America First, that she put together all by herself. Lindsay Rowland, great lady, great event. Big shout out to her. We'll see her tomorrow on DC Dispatch. But right now, it's time for our friends on the Peach Crew. This segment brought to you by my great friends at Healthy Cell. Tell you what, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night watching these LA and California primary results come in. Normally I go to bed at 9, but we didn't get home till late. And then I'm like, I got to turn this on. And then I couldn't turn it off. And so I only got about 4 hours of sleep yesterday, but it was the best 4 hours you could get because I took my REM sleep just before I went to bed. This thing is amazing. Go to healthycell.com. It supports all 4 facets of your sleep. You go to sleep like a baby, jump out of bed, even those tough nights where you can only get 4 hours like I did. Definitely taking a nap today, but I get my REM sleep. And I never get sick because I take my multivitamin. Just go to, you know where to go, healthycell.com, healthycell.com, promo code Godzilla. You're going to get 20% off your first order, and then you're going to be rocking and rolling. So you're going to feel better, live better, quality of life, and not very expensive to feel better. And I'm never sick because I'm always here. I got sick one day and I was better the next day. So I got my medical emergency kit. I got my Healthy Cell vitamins. I'm good to go. I'm like a rock. I'm like an ox, kind of like Vernon Jones is, right? That's why I get along so well. Okay, let's get the Peach Crew in. We got a lot to talk about here. We got Vernon Jones is with us. Holly Kessler.
Sure. All right. Thank you for that. Yes.
We got Vernon. We got let's see who we got. We got Jackie Harling. It's kind of like, remember like Hollywood Squares, right? Where they'll pop up you never really know who's on. You just got to pop them on the screen, Dan, throw them all in, and then I can read the names. Other than that, I have no idea who's on. It's like Hollywood Squares. We got Vernon Jones with some kind of a revolving camera. I think you put the camera on the back of a dog or something walking around there, Vernon. Got to get that camera stable. But
okay.
So we got Holly Kessler from Kessler Consulting. We got Jackie Harling. Scary Jackie, Chairman 14th District, Celestine James, political strategist and consultant. And we've got one of the 2 candidates in the runoff for Secretary of State. If he wins, he's going to be the Secretary of State. He's going to win the election in November, and he's going to make national news. Vernon Jones. Vernon, thanks for being with us today.
John, thank you, and all your co-hosts there. I have to apologize. I'm here live at the State Election Board up here in Forsyth County at the Lanier Technical College. So back behind me is the entrance, and so people are here. The meeting's underway now, started at 9 o'clock. Obviously, I want to be here. Tomorrow, I'm hosting a roundtable with people, citizens, to hear what they have to say, what their concerns are, what their solutions are. We're very serious about engaging the public, and there's not a better place to have than hear a lot of those folks who are involved in election integrity. So tomorrow we're having a round table, and I want to hear what everybody has to say, John. So I'm excited about the runoff. Our message has gotten through. We have worked hard. You all know that, but we got a lot of hard work to do to finish this race out, and we look forward to doing it.
Vernon, tell me a little bit about when you're Secretary of State. You have been in the forefront of Georgia election integrity since the election in 2020. You have never wavered. It cost you your seat in the House of Representatives, but you never wavered. As Secretary of State in Georgia, what are the 2 or 3 immediate key things that we can see you doing, that you're going to do as Secretary of State to clean up the voting in Georgia?
Well, John, let me be clear about one thing. I'm sorry, this young lady, she's speaking to me. Like I said, this is a live meeting here, live video. John, we have to make sure that we do process and follow through with eliminating the QR codes. We have to make sure that we do go to verifiable hand count ballots. We have to make sure, John, our voter rolls are cleaned up. That's got to be done. That's the basic. If we're going to restore public trust, and we have to make sure we do restore public trust. But John, I want to work with state election boards. I want to work with those who are out there who were election integrity advocates who were told they had two heads, that what they were seeing and what they were seeing or feeling and experiencing was not true. It is true, John. We know that we had fraud in Georgia. We know we had election irregularities in Georgia, and we want to work and provide the leadership to these various local election boards to make sure they're not violating the law. And when people are violating the law, they should be held accountable. And John, another thing too, you heard about the Secretary of State not letting the state election board members come into the bunker, so-called bunker. What we're going to do, John, we're going to put a live feed in that bunker so everybody can see what's going on in that bunker, the whole state of Georgia, including advocating local election boards. When they're counting ballots election night, there should be a live feed in there as well so people can observe whether at home or on the phone or whatever. Transparency is the number one thing, John, we have to make sure that's taking place in our elections.
Okay, let's get to some of our panel here. Let's start with Scary Jackie Harling. Everybody's afraid of her because she has like tough elections and stuff. You're not supposed to do that, Jackie. But member of the 14th district, go ahead. What do you have here for Vernon Jones, Jackie?
Well, good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you, everyone listening. Hey, Vernon, how you doing?
Jackie.
You're working so hard, and I tell you, I have a compelling question for you. Get ready.
Okay.
When are you going to be in the 14th district so I can send people to come see you if they haven't already met you?
Jackie, I want to give you my number right now and everybody else there too. My number is 404-285-7222. That's 404-285-7222. Jackie, if you can text me your contact number, I'll have Shannon. We'll schedule some. I've been going all over this state, and I love the 14th district. A lot of votes are in the 14th district, and the people in the 14th district deserve a free, fair, and transparent election. I appreciate your leadership. I am there. Although we have 2 weeks left, and there's 159 counties, all sorts of groups having events, I am making myself available day and night. I'm trying to make it happen.
Well, you take care of yourself. Try to get enough sleep. Don't let yourself get sick. This is a mama bear advice thing, but you're doing a great job. And I know when you were in Walker County, oh my gosh, I got some really hard to please people in Walker County. Okay. They've been through it, and they've got a lot of, they're cynical about a lot, as they should be. But you won over a lot of people. I don't know if there was anybody in the room that you did not win over in Walker County. So I'm proud of how you're running your race, and I wish you all the luck in the world. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. The hardest part of my job is being a remote reporter for the John Fredericks show. That's really good.
It's not easy, right?
Hey, John, but listen, John, this is live from the state election board meeting. So, hey, you know what?
That's
got
great.
your folks out there working.
You're on the job. You are on the job.
On the job.
We put everybody to work here, including Holly Kessler down in Savannah. Holly, go ahead. You're on with Vernon Jones.
That's right. Yeah, typically I will be up there. I've got my daughter's moving this week, and we've got a little bit of home reconstruction going on, getting ready for her to come back in, and that sort of stuff going on. So yeah, so I'm not at the state election board this week.
Where'd you get the tan?
What's that?
Where'd you get the tan? Were you in Florida?
We were out on the boat this weekend, so I took a little bit of break and did some boating this weekend. Went out on the islands.
No,
I'm glad to see that you're there and showing up. I think that's huge, Vernon. I know that our paths have crossed a couple of times over the years, and I know that that you've been very involved, and I'm glad to see that you're still showing up. I think the roundtable is huge. The people, the advocates for election integrity have been screaming it. So I think that's huge. I think that's something that needs to continue. People want to be heard. That's one of the biggest things is, just give people a chance to be heard. They want to be heard. They have concerns. They want those concerns to be listened to. And I think that's just, and the thing is it's not all the time, just take time to listen to the people. That is what elected representatives are supposed to do. So I think that is really, really huge what you're doing. Showing up and actually taking time to do that is really something powerful. So keep doing that. God bless you. I think you're doing a great job, and just keep going strong. It's a couple weeks out,
Celestine, can you imagine when Vernon Jones wins this race? He's gonna win the runoff, and then he's going to get elected in November. Do you realize that he'll make national news because they're going to say, "Oh, the election denier replaced Brad Raffensperger." I mean, could write the headline in the AJC and the New York Times combined? It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to go there for his inauguration. CJ, what do you think?
John, let me say this.
I think
Obviously,
that
the liberal network.
it will be.
Go
No,
ahead.
sorry.
I think it will be huge.
All right, Vernon, go
I think
ahead.
it will be huge headlines.
We got a delay with Miss James. Let's get her to call in here by phone. It's too much of a delay. Vernon, go ahead.
Let me say this, John. We're not trying to grab any headlines, but I can tell you and I both know that the liberal media, their hair is going to catch on fire, especially with someone like me who won't back down, back off, or back away for election integrity. And that from day one, like you said, stood shoulder to shoulder with you and many others, including President Trump, that we had some major issues in Georgia. And I can tell you right now, if my opponent is elected, they know that the cover-up will continue to take place and it'll be swept under the rug forever. But they know when I get elected, it's going to be just like what President Trump has revealed after he got elected. He saw how all the various intelligence agencies, what they were doing, the corruption, how they were spying on him and others. Look, we're going to vindicate President Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and all of those across Georgia who were election integrity advocates who were lied to. We are going to uncover it. I always said, John, from day one, you heard me say this before, there's a dead cat on the internet line, and it has a bunch of kittens with it, too. We are going to pull that sheet back. We're going to make sure we restore public trust, and people feel like as though in Georgia, there really are free, fair, and transparent elections, and we become the envy of the country. And the people of Georgia, they want and they deserve a Secretary of State's office that's working for them and not against them.
What do you think about what are you ever going to get to the bottom of these 28,000 alleged fake ballots that are stashed in a warehouse that Caroline Jeffords has that suit? I thought we won that case. They still haven't been revealed. When are we just going to get the ballots and see if they're fake or not? What is so hard about that?
John, I'm going to do everything in my power as Secretary of State without violating the law to find and uncover and bring forth whatever documentations, whatever process, and those individuals who were involved in that. I want to bring it to the, maybe one of those truth and reconciliation moments where, look, just come forward. Nobody's going to do anything to it. Just bring the information. But John, I believe the minute that if we're fortunate enough, we walk into the office day one, a lot of the employees who are afraid to talk, they're going to come forward. They're going to share a lot of information, and we're going to make this information available. We have, in other words, John, in order for us to go forward, we have to unveil what happened in 2020 so we don't make those mistakes again in 2026. And going forward too. But also, John, I have to work with that Georgia General Assembly, the legislature. There's a lot of division even over there. We have to work with them, pull them together so we can continue to push for legislation, make it easier to vote and harder to cheat, but at the same time, make our elections much more transparent. That is one of the big problems, John, the transparency. We didn't always experience that. And we have a Secretary of State that didn't get along with the legislature, doesn't get along with the state election board. And we got to change that culture where we're working together, not against each other.
And didn't want to work with the state election board investigators either. And keep in mind, we have a new state election board investigator who is Jason Frazier. And Jason Frazier, it was the Fulton County Election Board Republican nominee that the Fulton County Board of Election and Registration was trying to keep off of the board. And he is now the state election board investigator.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's got the liberal media going crazy now too.
That is definitely a good start. I tell
yeah,
you,
it's a great start.
I think legislatively too, John, when they did some changes to the Secretary of State or to the State Election Board and Secretary of State's relationship, that whole process, I think it sort of created some division in some ways, or let's say some unclear process in who should have investigators, who shouldn't have investigators, whether or not the Secretary of State's office should be participating at those State Election Board members. Remember, the State Election Board members, they're political appointees too. They cannot direct the staff of Secretary of State's office. So should they have had their investigators from day one? Yes. Should they have had even their attorneys? Yes. And then you have the Attorney General with both. The Attorney General is the lawyer. They are the lawyers for the Secretary of State's office and the State Election Board. But we have to make sure, God, excuse me, this van is here. I got to get out of the way of this van. I dropped my phone. I don't want to get run over. As you can see, it's coming in. But we have to make sure that the State Election Board has its resources, but they have to stay within their lane too, because they're I go back what I said, they are appointed, they're appointees. The people of Georgia elect a constitutional officer, the Secretary of State. So we have to make sure we don't blur the lines, and we try to make it a little more clear, more transparent, and more, more precise in terms of who has ability to do what. Because remember, even the State Election Board was sued about them stepping outside their lanes. So we have to make sure everybody stay in their lane. And certainly the Secretary of State, it's not in my purview to go and create drop boxes without it going through the legislature. When the Secretary of State brought those drop boxes in, John, that was not written into our state law by the Georgia General Assembly, which only has the only group that has the constitutional authority to do so. Also, John, when you saw those millions of ballots that were mailed out, absentee ballots, the Secretary of State, in my opinion, many's opinion, they stepped outside of their purview. They were not supposed to do that. That created a lot of heartburn and a lot of distrust. And so there's a lot of things that got to be worked on. Thank God I've worked with the legislature. I've served there. I know how to work with them and get something through and build a coalition where people can feel as though we're working together. And certainly the State Election Board, all those members, I look forward to work with them too, John, if I'm fortunate enough to get elected.
If you win, are we going to have can we have a weekly show there so you can give a national weekly update on what you've been covered?
John, I think even if I can't be available, someone senior on the Secretary of State's office should be available to give y'all an update as we work on things. Let's be honest, John. We can't fix all the ills overnight, but there's some low-hanging fruit we can get to right away in terms of processes, how we can improve those processes. Even with the state, the state's responsible for, or Secretary of State, I should say, is responsible for, John, regulating about 42 different boards. There's a nightmare with people getting their license, getting response, getting someone on the phone. We have to fix that too, John, because the government's standing between people and their paychecks. And when you're a nurse and you just finished, or accountant or contractor, you're trying to get your license and you haven't heard anything back 6 to 8 months, that is not good government. So there are a lot of things that we want to keep you abreast on. The Secretary of State should take a bigger role, John, and seeking jobs and creating jobs and talking to the business community. The gateway of business is Secretary of State's office, but you never hear about the Secretary of State going on any trade missions to talk with various employers to try to bring jobs to Georgia. There are a lot of things the Secretary of State should have been doing. But to answer your question, John, I am going to be one of your official reporters. Even when I get elected, if I'm elected Secretary of State office, we're going to have a satellite John Fredericks show in our office. But not only you, but everybody. We want to keep everybody abreast, John. We do.
We're going to bring the cameras into that conference room that I went and interviewed. What was his name? Brad Raffensperger. We're going to just bring the cameras there and leave him. You can just hook up. You go in there. You just hook them up. We're good to go. Okay, we're going to end here with Celestine James. CJ, you've got the floor. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Vernon, I am so proud of you and what you've been doing on the ground in Georgia. Keep it up. I think it's very important that you are at the election board meeting this morning. That shows that you truly care about what's happening in Georgia and you're interested in being the voice of the people. And so, because you will be representing all of Georgia, okay? And so I just want to thank you for your heart and for your courage in standing up. And I look forward to standing in the victory circle with you, because it truly will be momentous when you win. So keep up the good work, sir. And, we're proud of you.
Thank you,
Proud of
CJ.
you.
You know, we've been working hard. I'm running to you numerous times on the campaign trail throughout all of Georgia. I got to tell you all, you know, this is one of those zones where people get desperate. I've already seen some stuff, just attack stuff, just out of desperation. But we're going to stay above the fray. We're just going to keep taking our message. If you follow us, we are all over Georgia. We're talking to folks. And I can tell you, and John Fredericks, you and I both know that. Well, everybody knows that the Democrats do not want me. There's two groups that want me to win this election and this GOP nomination. The establishment, because it'll be status quo, and what happened, we continue to be swept under the rug. But also the Democrats don't want me to win. Why? Because they know I can invade their base. I can land behind enemy line and break up that block of votes and get people to come and vote for me. And I don't have to change my stripes, my message, or my tone, or my tenor, because they know me, they trust me, they know I can run a good government. They know I've never been told that I was incompetent or incapable. Maybe at times I'm a little vocal, but the fact of it is, I believe what I believe in, I stand up for it. And so we're going to be able to help the Republican ticket across the board if I become the nomination, because we're going to run a whole new different kind of campaign, something they've never seen come from a Republican candidate. And we're going to build that coalition, John. And we've lost, like I said, we've lost 4 statewide constitutional offices in the past 2 election cycles. We cannot afford to lose any more.
Yeah.
You've seen the numbers changing in Georgia. They're leaving California and New York because of the infrastructure, the high taxes, the high crime. They're coming to Georgia, and they're voting for the same kind of folks that got them in that position. So we've got to grow this party. We've got to let them know that we are the party that preserve Georgia's values. We want to keep you safe. We want to have a great, free and fair, transparent election. We want to be a job creator here, small business advocator here, and the things that make people want to vote for the GOP. So, John, that's where we're taking it to the streets.
Vernon, people want to follow you and your campaign. Where do they go?
They can go to VernonJonesSOS2026.com. That's VernonJonesSOS2026.com. Please get involved. We need as many people as we can. This is going to be a low turnout, not a little higher than we normally, because you have all these statewide runoffs, but still, come out. We have to get our votes back out to win this thing. And people know if they want change, they want a reformer, then Vernon Jones is a person that can bring that. I'm not an insider. I haven't worked for the Secretary of State's office like my opponent. I haven't worked in the governor's office like my opponent. I just been Vernon representing the people. And so I am a reformer. And I'm not one that's been a part of the system. I'm one that's been able to change the system. I am a change agent, and we're going to do it for the good and betterment of the people of Georgia.
Vernon, thank you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Good
you,
luck in
John.
your campaign.
Thank all of y'all. Thank all of y'all for letting me come on.
I'll call you. I know you called me the other night. I'll call you a little bit later on today. You have a great day.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
We got Josh McCoon, chairman of the Republican Party of Georgia, coming up next. We're going to take a quick break. Plus, when I get back, I got a big announcement that involves the former House Speaker of Georgia. Coming up next on the Peach Crib. Keep it right here.
Oh.
Ponder this. Imagine for a moment that you are lying on your deathbed. This is a great exercise to do each day in preparation for your very last day on earth. Think about the tests you've ever taken, the job interviews you've had, and the many life celebrations you've been a part of. In all of these cases, preparation makes for successful outcomes. The same is true for dying. We must prepare every day for the day we are to die, in case today might be our last. Make sure you are right with the Lord first and foremost. If you are a Catholic, make sure you are in the state of grace by receiving the sacrament of confession often. Next, make sure you are right with your family, friends, and all those who are in your world. Apologize to those who have offended you and mend relationships that need healing. Make each day a preparation for your last day on earth, because it just may be. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
There, we're back with the Peach Crew. Great to have you with us. Well, let's see. We got Holly Kessler is with us, consultant. She's from Savannah. We've also got 4th District Chairwoman. It's always good to have her. They call her, I don't know why they think you're so scary. You're not scarier than me, but Jackie Harlan, ever since what's his name wouldn't come on because he was afraid you were going to ask him a tough question. And CJ, Celestine James is with us. She's a veterans advocate and longtime strategist. So thank you, CJ, for being with us. Well, we got a big announcement that I'm ready to make right now. Former House Speaker and long-term House of Representatives leader Mark Burkholder from the Johns Creek area, North Fulton County, has been nominated by President Trump to be ambassador to Moldova. And I've had the Moldova ambassador on my show a number of times. We're going to get him back on now because my good friend Mark Burkholder now officially nominated for an ambassadorship with a slew of other people get these filled, and he'll be going with his wife Gina to Moldova. And Ann and I never been to Moldova, but we're going. I'm not going to miss that inauguration. Mark and I go back, oh my God, 30, 40 years or something, 35, 40 years. He's a great guy, was speaker and super guy. We urged him, I forget the year, it was when Nathan Deal ran, but Jan Jones and I were urging him and Ann to run for governor. And to this day, I believe, had he run for governor, he would have been the governor of Georgia. He'd have beaten Nathan Deal, and he'd have been governor. But, he had young kids at the time and decided that it wasn't his track. But now he's ambassador. He's got to get confirmed. Obviously, got to go through that. It takes a few months. But so big shout out to former Speaker Mark Burkholder, now the ambassador to Moldova. Now, or nominated, I'm sorry, for the ambassador to Moldova. And, of course, when you get nominated for ambassador, there's no media. So he can't be coming on our show doing anything like that. But I'll get the Moldova ambassador on to talk about him. Now I can do that, right? So that we can. So we'll figure it out. Joining the Peach crew, the number one, he's one of the best Republican chairmen in America, Josh McCoon, with us, and he led off our new segment, Chairman's Corner, every Tuesday at 8:30. So we had him on a couple weeks back. I tell you what, I love that segment that we put together, Josh. You were the first one to do it. Thank you. We had Joe Gruters on as the national chairman, as Chairman's Corner. But I love that segment because I learn so much. Our audience learns so much from these different states. And the Delaware chairman, we had him. He was fabulous. The Florida chairman was super. And I absolutely yesterday fell in love with Nicole Harris, who's trying to Baltimore and fix Maryland. And just we got some really good chairmen. President company included, Josh.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. And thank you for having me on today.
So before we get to elections, Peach Crew, and all that, you're a lawyer. I had a caller earlier, Tim in Virginia, telling me about the RNC lawsuit on this Mississippi mail-in ballot case where they can't take ballots that come in after Election Day, regardless of what the postmark is. Are you familiar with that?
Absolutely, yes. And it's incredibly consequential, not just for the Mississippi situation, but for the entire nation. Because if we get a decision that Election Day is actually an election day, I mean, think about yesterday. California just had their primary. We're not going to get the real outcome, even though Steve Hilton is the number one finisher right now, probably for weeks because of their mail-in system. And it will upend this sort of window for fraud in states like California and Oregon that are states that are all mail-in, so it's incredibly consequential. Mike Hurst, the new general counsel, has been doing a terrific job. The RNC has been very strategic about picking and choosing the fights to battle and to win to help us as we continue to try to get a level playing field in elections.
And Mike is also the chairman of Mississippi Republican Party, right? So he serves a dual role.
That's correct.
Yeah, so he's a Mississippi chairman involved, obviously, in this case, which was brought to the Supreme Court by the Republican Party of Mississippi, and then the RNC joined it. So he's also general counsel. So that's good timing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And kudos to Chairman Gruters and the RNC legal team. They've been incredibly helpful to us here in Georgia, where we're involved in dozens of lawsuits in 2024. We're sort of gearing up again for 2026. The RNC has been a great partner for the Fulton County GOP as we fight the Fulton County Commission that's trying to say they can veto Republican choices for our Board of Elections. So one of the things that's been great under President Trump is how aggressive the Republican National Committee has gotten in the courtroom to get fair elections for Republicans.
I have to say one thing that I'll ask Jackie here, but I got to get a Father's Day gift. Dan's like, what do you want for Father's Day? I want that tie. I want that colored tie that Josh has. What color is that? What do I tell Ann? Was that teal?
It's a blue tie, kind of a royal blue, I guess.
It's a royal blue tie. I love that tie. What is that? Yeah, I'm gonna ask Ann for that. I'm gonna snap a picture of this, Dan. Send it to Ann. That's my Father's Day gift right there. I love that tie. I got to come up with something other than another University of Maryland collared shirt. I got like 9 of them. Okay, I got all those I need. Jackie, let's get to Josh here. And you got the governor's race. Burt Jones, obviously now gaining traction, no doubt about it. The guy that looked inevitable is not inevitable. So lots going on there. But also because of the rule, you guys can openly back Burt Jones. Is that the way I understand it, Josh?
Yeah, so the RNC has a rule. It's called Rule 11. And what Rule 11 says is that the RNC does not coordinate with candidates pre-primary. But there is a process to waive Rule 11. And if your state chair, your national committee man, national committee woman sign a waiver, then the Republican National Committee is free to coordinate with the campaign, to assist the campaign. And so back in earlier this year in January, that Rule 11 waiver was submitted to Chairman Gruters and the committee. So they are free to take any action they want to assist with the lieutenant governor's campaign.
So the RNC can. What about the state party?
So Georgia Republican Party by rule does not take part in contested primaries. So it's a little bit of a inside baseball thing here that we're talking about, but obviously RNC resources are available. RNC staffers that are hired that are put on the ground in Georgia are available. But the Georgia Republican Party, like in my role, and the other officers, we don't endorse in party primaries. And we're all very thankful that June 16th will be here soon, and we'll have our team so that we can all get very loud about who our nominees are and get behind them so we can keep Georgia red.
Jackie, what happened to Ricky Jackson? A couple weeks ago, we thought the guy was going to maybe win on the first ballot, and then his campaign collapsed. He spent all that money, almost like what? Tom Steyer spent what, $750 million, and he's not going to make the runoff. He's out. In California, ran to the way left of everybody. Spends $700 million, gets 20% of the vote. I'd hate to see what the cost per vote is that he's got. Probably like $150, $200 or something. Jackie, what happened to the Jackson campaign?
That's hard to say. I think there's a lot of different facets. Let me interrupt myself. Good morning, Josh. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good to see you. Good to see you. There's so many facets to a successful campaign. And one of those is money. You have to have money to get product to the customer and let them know that you're running. But it also is a lot of other factors. I know the GOP, there's a lot of support for Bert. It's been a crazy time, but I do have a question for Josh, if I could. Josh, with the June 16th runoff approaching, obviously emotions are running high and many Republicans are passionate about their preferred candidates. Regardless of who wins, what specific steps will you take after the runoff to unite the party and ensure Georgia Republicans are focused on defeating Democrats rather than remaining divided?
Great question.
Well, I'm excited to say, Jackie, that we have an event scheduled for Saturday, June 20th. It's going to be the first ever rodeo sponsored by the Georgia Republican Party. It's going to be in Perry, Georgia at the Ag Center. And we're going to have every statewide member of our ticket there for the first time. We will be united. We will be bringing a lot of people together from all over the state. Perry is really centrally located, so we'll be able to bring in our activists from everywhere. If you're interested in learning more about this, we've got a website. It's gagop250.com, because we're obviously celebrating the 250th birthday of our country, while also kicking off the general election campaign. I've been blown away by the amount of sponsorship, financial sponsorship that is coming together for this event. We've got very reasonable ticket prices. I've heard in the past when we hold events, oh, you're charging us too much money. It's $30 to go to this thing. They're going to be great musical acts, a fantastic rodeo. You're going to get to meet all live and in person. It's been a good thing as we've been going through this primary runoff to reach out to the candidate. Win or lose, we want you at this event. We want everyone together, because at the end of the day, we cannot have Keisha Bottoms be governor of the state. We cannot have John Ossoff in the U.S. Senate for another 6 years. And we're going to have some fantastic choices to put before Georgia voters, and you're going to get to hear from them first on Saturday, June 20th at the rodeo in Perry.
I'm going to be there. I'm on the actual committee for it. I'm going to be the stage manager for the music.
Let's go.
Yay.
So it's going to be good.
District. I do. We are actually sponsoring. We're one of the sponsors, the 14th District Republican Party, and we're working on getting a tour bus together so that we all ride up together. So we're hoping to make that happen too. But thank you for that. I'm looking forward to the rodeo. We're gonna wear our cowboy hats and our cowboy boots
And are you
and
singing, Jackie? I know you're singing.
I don't know.
You got to be opening up.
I'm
You'll
imagining
have to
people
come to
sick of
find
me.
out. You'll have to
Yes.
come
Okay.
to
Well,
find
I'll
out.
be there. I'll be there.
You know, Josh, what it reminds me of, and I get the years mixed up. So 2010, maybe 2012, I don't remember. But you had a bitter runoff fight for governor between Nathan Deal and Karen Handel, who was a former Secretary of State. And Handel won the first round, and then Deal beat her in the runoff. And speaking of Burkholder, he backed Deal and Jan Jones and a whole bit. And it was very nasty at the end. And I remember that the chairman at the time put together a breakfast the day after and invited Deal and Handel there. And a lot of people thought Karen wouldn't come because she was mad at the world. But she showed up for that. And, we had pictures of them shaking hands and getting back together. Is that kind of what your vision is, to just figure out a way to bring everybody together?
Yeah, that's what we want to show. We've invited all of our statewide candidates. I mean, those that didn't make the respective runoffs, those that did, and whoever emerges victorious on the 16th. We want everybody there to show that this party is united. This party is united because we can't afford not to be. This is a competitive state. We had a great victory for President Trump, but it was a 2.1% margin of victory. And so we all have to be together to keep Georgia in the conservative column. Mayor Bottoms, for people that didn't live in Atlanta, Atlanta burned during Mayor Bottoms' tenure. She allowed there to be a lawless sort of area of Atlanta for 3 weeks. People threw up barricades. There was gang violence going on, and she only called in the police when an 8-year-old girl named Secoria Turner was murdered down there. She's a feckless leader. I've been following this Karen Bass thing. I mean, she makes Karen Bass look like Winston Churchill. We've got to keep her out of the governor's mansion. And the same thing with John Ossoff. I mean, John Ossoff is the most unqualified person that I think ever has served in the United States Senate. He votes with California. He doesn't care about Georgia. He cares about his out-of-state donors. And so whoever emerges from this process is going to be worlds better than either of those bozos.
Holly Kessler, weigh in here with Josh.
Well, I think it's fabulous. I mean, God love you. I know you've taken a lot of heat. I've met you once, talked to you a couple of times, Josh, and but I see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And all sides that you've taken and the things that you've done, and you're in a tough spot. So I think it's great what you're doing. We've got to unite everybody together. We've got to come together and win this thing. And I think it's good for everybody, whether you're grassroots, you're a legislator, people have got to come together. It can be a good educational time for people to, come together and really see what the GOP is trying to do, what people, whether they're a candidate, just the whole 9 yards. I think it's really good that you're trying to put something together like this, bring people together. I mean, people have really got to put kind of partisan politics aside and and just come together for the good of the party. It's like you said, we can't have city of Atlanta burning down and Keisha Lance Bottoms, being governor of Georgia and Ossoff being senator again. We've got to get back to the good conservative values of Georgia and get really good people in and steering our party back to back to the good core principles of Georgia. Get good people in. So hats off to you, Josh. I think you're doing great. Keep your head up, buddy. I know you get a lot of flack, so just keep going strong.
Well, I appreciate that. And I would just say, too, we have a great story to tell as Republicans in Georgia. We have been running the state for the last 20 years. It's the #1 state in America to do business consistently. We have businesses that are fighting to come to Georgia. We have existing businesses that are growing by leaps and bounds. And that's because we've had good, steady conservative governance. Brian Kemp reopened Georgia. It was the first state to reopen when COVID started. And if Keisha Bottoms had had her way, and we know what she did in Atlanta, she would have shuttered thousands of small businesses. Millions of people would have lost their jobs. And that is what you need to think about when you're talking about what kind of leader do you want to put in? Do you want to put in a leader who's thinking about people around their kitchen table and what they're going to do to take care of their families, making sure their girls are safe when they want to go participate in an athletic competition, common sense. And that's what this election is going to be about. The Republican Party in Georgia owns common sense. The Democratic Party of Georgia has given themselves away to the woke mob, and we're going to expose that over the next 6 months.
Okay, CJ, you're up.
Still. Okay. All right. Good morning, Josh. How are you?
Good morning. Hey.
All right. Wonderful. Listen, I think it's great that we're having the rodeo in June. And so for me, it is an opportunity for the Republican Party to get it together, because now as it stands, with the negative rhetoric that's happening right now from within the Republican Party, we are giving the Democratic Party the fire in which to destroy us. And so when we have our activists and people out here speaking, we must speak in terms of what will the candidates do going forward if they should win that seat. The negativity is no. Peace must reign in order for us to go forward. And so for me, as I sit here, I start to question the motives of people who are continuing to go scorched earth on other Republican candidates. It is about those pocketbook issues and what it is that the people in this state are looking for in leadership. And so hats off to you, Josh McCoon, and the rest of leadership as we go forward in order to bring about peace, because all of us must work together if we are going to win. And I want to win. So I have no tolerance for people who want to be divisive, who want to go ahead and give the win to the Democratic side. I say stand down and join with leadership in order to bring that win in. So if you're not talking about what the candidates are doing or going to do once they win, then you need to check yourself all day long. And so, thank you.
Well, thank you, CJ, and we got to come together. I mean, that's the whole thing. We got to come together. Go ahead, Josh.
I would just say I couldn't agree with you more. The good thing about this campaign, the rough and tumble of this campaign, is our candidates are tested. They're going to emerge ready to go. This is the first time Keisha Bottoms has been running for office since 2021. John Ossoff hasn't really had a glove laid on him. And we're going to come out ready to go. And it is important for us to talk about how we've cut the state income tax repeatedly, how we've rolled back regulations, how we've been able to grow jobs in this state. And if that's what you want to see continue, if you move to Georgia because you got a job, you want Republicans to stay in charge of the state because we've got the economy moving. By the same token, I will say it's important to compare the records. Atlanta's not ready for the World Cup. They announced yesterday that they're not going to have the MARTA trains ready to go that they made a big to-do about. It's not safe to ride MARTA. I asked people this question, and this question is going to get asked a lot in the next 6 months. Democrats control the city of Atlanta. They control some of our county governments. Tell me what county, what city, what school board run by Democrats in this state do you say, man, I want the state run like that? And an honest person, regardless of party, will tell you none of them, because they're incompetent. They're not delivering on basic promises of government service. Keep people safe, keep the economy moving, make people feel like their kids are going to have a better future than they do. Republicans have consistently done it. We've got a 20-year track record of doing it. The Democrats would bring chaos and would erase all the progress that we've made. So we're going to make that case, and that case is going to start being made on Saturday, June 20th in Perry, Georgia.
Josh McCoon, want to thank you for joining the Peach Crew today. Love what you're doing at the big rodeo. Very excited that Jackie's running the stage and the music, so you know it's going to be good. Want to thank our Peach Crew members. Holly Kessler, thank you, as always, for being with us. Celestine, James, CJ, thank you. And Josh, you're doing a super job. And great to have you with us. Josh McCoon, chairman of the Republican Party of Georgia, rocking and rolling. Guys, that's it for the Peach Crew today. We're 13 days before the runoff. Then we got 3 big ones: Secretary of State, U.S. Senate. I still think Dooley's going to pull this out. I got a feeling, guys. I just got a feeling. I think Kemp comes in big in the final 2 weeks. That's what he did before the first primary. Is going to do it again. I think Dooley's going to be victorious. So is Burt Jones. And I hope Vernon Jones wins. He got a shot. Thanks for being with us, guys. Michael Patrick Leahy next. And we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, 6 a.m.
This is WJFN Goochland, Bonaire, Chester.